Ladies and gentlemen,
estamos a 4 minutos de iniciarmos.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you to Vilamoura. We're down in the deep south of Portugal on the beautiful Algarve region. 200 kilometers of pristine coastline on the Atlantic Ocean. And there is a quite extraordinary hub of international sport. If you're a golfer, I'm sure you enjoyed watching Colin Morikawa win the Open Championship 2 days ago in Great Britain. The jewel here in Vilamoura is the Old Course Golf Club, Frank Penning's beautiful design. But here, it's a beautiful Vilamoura Equestrian Centre. We're delighted to welcome you to the European Championships for young riders, juniors and children on horses this morning. Superb to have your company, and we will get underway in just a couple of minutes. Lisbon, the Portuguese capital, is 260 kilometres northwest of Vilamoura, and 300 kilometres to the southeast of us was the venue for the 2002 World Equestrian Games held in Jerez de la Frontera. And a great voice, Mike Tucker, was the cross-country course designer. We lost Mike 3 years ago, but what a legend. And he was the course designer for the cross-country for eventing in Jerez de la Frontera.
Muito bom dia a todos. O meu nome é António Moura, sou o show director do Campeonato da Europa de Vilamoura 2021, que vamos dar início no dia 18 e que se prolongará até ao dia 25 de julho. Vilamoura, para este campeonato, aqui em Vilamoura, eu reunia uma equipa extraordinária que é o garante de que tudo se vai passar da melhor forma possível, em que todos nos iremos esforçar para o conforto, o vosso conforto e dos vossos cavalos. Já que estamos a falar de conforto, começo-vos a falar que as previsões de temperatura... Estão en piste?
Sim, 2 em pista. And all set to start.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. Apologies for the slight break to my introduction here in Vilamoura, but it is absolutely superb to welcome you to the 2021 FEI European Show Jumping Championships for children on horses, for juniors. Our divisions open the action this morning, the first of the 6 days of competition. Big week for these youngsters. Will be running through until Sunday. Will be the last of our days of sport here. And it's a very big start field that we welcome for the Junior European Championships. Vilamoura, one of the 3 corners of the Algarve's Golden Triangle, that features one of the largest single tourist complexes in the entirety of Europe. It also has the largest marina in Portugal. 1,000 vessels can be berthed in the marina. Was inaugurated in 1974, so with the seaside, the marina, the golf courses and this quite sensational equestrian centre, it is the perfect place for the European Championships. We start with the Table C competition, and this is the opening leg of the Junior European Championships. 102 it is that will start, and it's an extraordinary number of nations that we welcome to Vilamoura. 27 for the juniors alone, out of the entire number of 47 nations that are comprising Europe. And it's a quite brilliant start list. I'm delighted to see the likes of Croatia with 2, Latvia with 1, Slovenia also coming. Romania's got 5 riders, so brilliant to have Romania here in strength. But I'm afraid our trailblazer is off to a rocky start. The first of the pair for Finland is on course. Antonia Virtanen gets us underway this morning. This is her own, and Monica Wikström-Virtanen's Alma Lotta R. This is the 13-year-old Holsteiner mare. She's a Casal Calato daughter. The course set by Bernardo Costa Cabral, the superb Portuguese designer. We are up at 1.40 meters, which is big for the juniors. It's standard, but it's a serious test of horsemanship and horsepower. Fences 1 through to 12. There are 2 combinations out on this course. 6A, B and C. We see Antonia Virtanen nicely through. And then comes the late double, 9A, 9B, Oxford to Vertical. Before then, the Serpentine loop back to home. Fence 12 is a big Oxford that will bring them across the finish line. It's a long course this morning, 504 meters, so just up over half a kilometre. 12 obstacles and 15 efforts with those 2 combinations. This is judged under Table C rules, meaning, for those of you familiar with show jumping, you'll be well aware, but for those of you who are new to our sport, there's a conversion from penalties to seconds. So not actually like in Table A rules, the quickest clear round here that will win necessarily. Of course, a clear round ideal. And you'll add seconds.
So the total time
that conversion will happen in the event of rails down.
And Alma Lotta R.
So tough start for Antonia Virtanen, I'm afraid, to get us underway this morning.
And the next combination is for Romania. We have Stefania Stoica.
The first of the 5 now for Romania getting underway. Superb to have Stefania Stoica Schumann with us this morning. First of the quintet for Romania. Beautiful country. Been lucky to go to Romania a good 3 or 4 times to commentate, and it's a wonderful setting. The Carpathian Alps is a, well, beautiful backdrop. I was in the heart of Romania, not far from Sighișoara. And this is Caravan de Slagershoven Z. Out on the course, Clusenaya van der Heffink across to Clinton. There's the famous Damsire here, owned by Christina Duluguac. And it's a secure start here for Stefania Stoica Schumann. Until, I'm afraid, the front bar of that Oxa at 7 is the 4 penalties. Powers through the double combination. But it's a nice format to open up with from the point of view that if you do have a rail down, you think, well, let's just kick on a bit, try and catch up a few seconds and make amends for the rail you've just had down. As the Romanian youngster has done very well. So 71.2 is the time out on the course with just that 1 error at 7.
E temos o primeiro conjunto por Portugal, the first combination for Portugal. In the arena we have Francisco Mendonça Peixe riding Balto de la Poma. Stephanie Stoica Schumann 67.20 plus 8 seconds for 2 obstacles in a total of 75.20.
Just to amend the score actually for Stefania Stoica Schumann, just completing, it was in fact 2 fences down. 75.2 is the amended time. That sets the bar here in Vilamoura. Early days in the juniors. And on course, delighted to welcome Francisco Mendonça Peixe for Portugal. This is Balto de la Poma jumping. Couple of rails down on this, as I say, meaty course at 140 from Bernardo Costa Cabral and further sort in the Portuguese wound, I'm afraid. Back bar of 7 topples. Now down to the double 9A, 9B. We'll start now to think to home. 3 fences here on this fishhook line towards home. But already the juniors just showing this course is not straightforward. It's not a surprise, of course, first round of the European Championships, but it is causing bother. And I'm afraid it's a second refusal, and under the FEI rules, our governing body, that is elimination, I'm afraid. We bid farewell to Balto de la Pomme.
Francisco Mendes Peixe e Balto de la Pomme eliminados.
Just a few matters of housekeeping to keep you right abreast of the competition format here in Portugal. So far, we don't know the teams. The composition is unknown. The chef d'équipe surely will have a fair grip on who they're going to likely select, but they can do that after this first round. So that is important to state at the outset, that if nations with 5 riders, the likes of Romania, the Czech, Sweden, Russia, the Netherlands, Britain, Italy, Switzerland, Poland, Ireland, keeps going, Belgium, Spain, France, Germany and Denmark. If these nations have a problem such as that we've just witnessed for Francisco, the chef d'équipe can elect a different team. Now, this score will count through for the individual status and for the teams as well. But as I say, team declarations, they must be in tonight before 5 o'clock to the organising committee. So the chef d'équipe will be sweating in the stands, no doubt, making their final allocations or nominations as this competition unfolds. Out on the course for the Czech Republic, 5 for Czechia this afternoon, and this morning here in Vilamoura, Mariana Michlikova is on course. This is Liv Young jumping, Mecklenburger Gelding. He's the son of Lazaro, cross to converter, bred by Lothar Goose. And Mariana Michlikova has started very positively here.
And it's a clear in
well done.
66-32.
Finally, we are in business, and
Mariana
Michlikova comes home with the first clear of this table C. First leg of the Junior Europeans.
Next,
well done to them.
Number 5 of the starting list is from Sweden, is Igmar Armström and Nico Lindor.
The next to come is a crack young jockey for Sweden, out on course. Ingmar Hammerström gets underway. He was the European Pony Champion in Bishop Burton in 2018, Team Silver in Great Britain 3 years ago. This is second Junior Europeans. He was in Zuiderwolde. That was the last time the juniors and the Europeans for the youth of show jumping were held. Last year, sadly, naturally, like everything else pretty much, was cancelled. That was at Ocean Das, his pony. 3 pony Europeans for Ingmar, and 1 early rail down with Nico Lindor for the young man for Sweden. He'll be very much following the likes of Rolf-Johan Bengtsson, Peter Fredriksson, Marlon Bayard Jonsson and Henrik von Eckermann bound for Tokyo in a matter of weeks now. Just 1 down. And he's at 0.24 of a second down on the
56 plus 4.
Czech leading time.
The obstacle 4 seconds, so it's a total of 66.56 for Ingmar Hammerström.
Good start for Ingmar Hammerström, however, his championship campaign is up and running successfully enough for the former pony European champion.
For Portugal.
So 66.32, the only clear thus far. Mariana Michlikova leads the way here for the Czech with Liv Young. The round for Ingmar was well quicker. He goes only 0.24 of a second into second despite the addition for that for the penalty he incurred early on the course with Nicolene Dor. Now on course, the second of the four for Portugal, the Portuguese home quartet. This is Vasco Escuderio on course. This is the lovely Mill Sheridan. This one is the Swedish Warmblood. Empire side across to Iowa. Here the Dam Sire. Steady round it is to open up the campaign for Vasco Escuderio for Portugal. He has the one down, early rail again. That is Mill Sheridan home. Here on home sand in Portugal.
68 for Vasco Escudeiro.
Well, just to remind you, because it seems like quite a long time ago, those 2019 Europeans. And the reigning champion, Kate Derwin from Ireland, won in the Netherlands. That was with AHG White Rock Cruise Down. The Spanish pair, Maya de la Hoya Fernandez Longoria, was second. Alors de Roselle. And third was Thibaut Spitz for Belgium. And Thibaut riding Bellissimo Z was the individual bronze medal winner a couple of years ago. Out on course, delighted to welcome number 7. And this is the first of the quintet. 5 it is for Russia. Daria Samokina is away. This is Eastbourne jumping. He's a Dutch grey. He's the son of Cavalier crossed to Iroko, owned by Roman Samokin. The powerful grey comes down across the finish line. Couple of rails down for Daria Samokina. It is her third European Championship. She was in Zuiderwolde in the Netherlands 2 years ago with another horse that was Feet. And her debut at the Championships in Fontainebleau was with Excellent back in 2018. So she is an experienced lady. It is a couple down though for the pair for Russia. But as we say, crucial to realise and just recognise early on that this is a Table C competition. So the juniors will be converting penalties into seconds. And then there's a complex process to happen this evening where the times are converted into points. There's a coefficient of 0.5, which is times to the times themselves. And then the quickest will have a 0. And then there'll be a penalty or a points gap opened up with the other competitors in relation to the 0, and that will then set the standard for the competitions and the days that lie ahead of the 6 days of competition. So there's a lot to explain as we go through, and we see the scoreboards emerging. Out on course now, Amber van Marle is away. This is number 8 for the Netherlands. Paul van Marle owns this Gallers VDL Emilion across to Courland. Gregorius van der Vrent started very well here for the Dutch junior.
A clear round, clear to
Super clear round to get their campaign underway. Amber van Marle at her first Europeans. Comes across the line nicely with Gregorius van der Vrent, excuse me. And they were in the Nations Cup in Hagen.
Hello, William.
Jumped pretty well in the German Nations Cup in mid-June. competed in Virden and also in April in the Nations Cup in Opklabeek as well. But now we focus because Great Britain's campaign gets underway. Oliver Fletcher gets the British Challenge underway. This horse owned by his father, Graham Fletcher. One of the great names of British show jumping. Getting into a deep spot at the white vertical. And this horse co-owned by Lady Pauline Harris and Lady Pauline Kirkham. Names you'll know very well because they are the loyal supporters of Great Britain's former Rolex Grand Slam winner Scott Brash. Scott heads with Hello Jet to Tokyo, along with Ben Mayer and Explosion W, one of the great favourites for the individual gold. And Hello William, slightly edgy start for Oliver Fletcher, but they're now writing the round beautifully, and it's a quick turn away from the double, cut back very nicely to 10. And I fancy here we're going to have a new leader. Oliver Fletcher has had a flying start out of the blocks, and yes, 3.11 seconds
3 seconds,
clear
100 into the lead of this
of the former leading time. Hello William
Fletcher and
is
Hello
in
William.
beautiful shape. Well done to Oliver Fletcher.
Number 10 of the starting list is Wesley de Boer riding Sissi.
Goes well out into the lead. 3.11 seconds is a fair landslide. It is his 6th Youth Europeans. The individual bronze came in Shamarin for Oliver. That was the Children on Horses back in 2017. But now the Dutch have started sharply as well. Wesley de Boer is on course. Wesley is aboard CC. This one a beautifully bred mare. She's an 8-year-old Baltic VDL cross to Cantor's daughter. Dutch pair through and through. She's out of the KWPN Royal Dutch National Stud Book. And already you can just see the class of Wesley de Boer. He's got the horse beautifully up in the contact, right off his leg. A little bit like a mini Christian Alman here. You can see the verticality of his body position, keeping the horse nicely in his hand. It's all up in front of him. Super start for Wesley de Boer. One rail down given, but again, stylistically, you can see the way his career is likely to develop. As CC runs down to the final fence, it's going to be outside Oliver Fletcher's time in any case, with that 4 penalty addition.
Plus,
good effort it is from
a total of 68.
Wesley de Boer.
For Wesley de Boer.
Going to drop into 4th position as we stand. And that 3.11 second lead of Oliver Fletcher, clear of Mariana Miklikova, is our current standing. If you're just joining us, a very good morning. Early stages of this mammoth junior opening competition. 102 it is to start. And the 11th of those, 102, is just getting underway for Italy now. Maria Vittoria Martari is on course. Maria riding the VHL stables, Anne-Katrin Carlsen. And Tor Gustafsson's Jazu van het Nierenhof. 11 years of age, this Belgian mare. She's a daughter of Dictator van der Boslandhoever. Across to Jampilot. Maria Vittoria Martari has made a very good start to her campaign. Sadly, deep spot into 10, and that very difficult angle back towards the final line is proving demanding on several occasions.
Seconds in the Oxer number 10.
And Jazu van het Nederhof completing with the 4 penalties. Good effort from Maria Vittoria Martari. Early doors here in Vilamoura just completing.
And now it's the representative of Romania, Maria Roman, riding Labrashka.
Oh, what a difficult start. It is sad to see for Maria Alexandra Roman out on the course for Romania. Found a really deep spot, I'm afraid. This is her first European Championship. She was at 2 Balkan Juniors in Zagreb in Croatia in 2018 aboard this lovely Labrashka. Team bronze it was as well 3 years ago, and in Bulgaria. That was the Balkan Children on Horses Champs in Zenica in Bulgaria 2017. But oh, it's an awkward start, I'm afraid, for the pair for Romania. Last outings were in Hungary, Babolna's Grand Prix. Now they've just got to try and survive this course because they're facing the wall slightly, and I'm afraid, no, it is going to be elimination. Sad to see for the young Romanian couple.
A segunda recusa a carreta, a eliminação do conjunto. Second refuse, so it is elimination.
But it's an awesome course. There's plenty to do in terms of the opening round of the European Championships. This is a big occasion already.
63 seconds, 21 hundredths.
Bernardo Costa-Cabral, though, he's got to test the riders and horses. He can't be making it too conservative, but certainly having enough early influence, that is for certain. But now, we are delighted to welcome the pair from Monaco, the new starters. We have 3 here for the Principality of Monaco this morning, and this is a lady I know well because I commentate down in Saint-Tropez. The lovely upside jumping Grimaud regularly, and Anastasia Nielsen. It's not too far for her up the Côte d'Azur from her Monaco base to Grimaud. And I've seen her regularly jumping some big courses successfully. This Castro W out on the course, Caiado crossed to Alube Z, owned by the Nista company. And Anastasia Nielsen is making her debut at the European Championships. Just getting a little bit backward into the treble, but the big grey looks after Anastasia Nielsen very nicely. And they emerge out over 7 with a clean score sheet. This pair, last outing was in Hagen, a very good 3rd in the Grand Prix. At the powerful German show, they were also 3rd in the Grand Prix in Valkenswaard. They haven't jumped many courses actually of 1.40 m in their career that started back only in December of last year, so they're quite raw at this big level, and this is a very good start for Anastasia Nielsen. She crosses the line.
73
well
seconds,
done.
56,
73.56 the time.
At this moment for
is going to go into 6th position as we stand. They all chase Oliver Fletcher. It's about 10 seconds in arrears of the British leading time. Hallo William was really impressive. Second, Mariana Mikshlikova, and Ingmar Hammerström actually was the quickest round so far, but with the amended time because of the one mistake. 66.56 has the young Sweden former pony European champion in 3rd place as we stand. But now the first of the Swiss we see. Noah Keller getting underway. This is the Hanoverian mare. She's 11. Daughter of first Nymphenburg on course, owned by Giambattista Luther. Julia's Diamond Princess is away. Noah Keller has made a very accurate start here. Again, his first Junior European Championships. Any Europeans, in addition, didn't start at the ponies or the children on horses, so big occasion for him this morning. And Noah Keller is making a very good job of this course. Some great recent form, fourth in the Busto Arsizio Grand Prix up in the north of Italy. That was in early May, and it's a super start for the Swiss campaign.
It is a clear 65 seconds.
Goes second, and it's literally 1.79 seconds down on Oliver Fletcher. So what a start. He'll be delighted. Noah Keller goes second.
65 segundos.
And in fact, thinking of Brian Balsinger, I was about to say, but I'm afraid Emma Johansson has had a shocking start. Mecca has just ploughed through the first fence. The beautiful tall grey Cabochon crossed to Irko Mina. It's a hard start for Emma Johansson. My mind had just flipped to Brian Balsinger. And Brian, again, I've been watching keenly over this 2021 season. He is going to the Olympics for the Swiss, and he's another graduate of this Youth European program. Brian was the Young Rider European champion in Šamarin in Slovakia only in 2017. And he heads out to Tokyo alongside Steve Gardin and Martin Fuchs, and that is going to be some debut for him at the Olympics. It's always interesting to see where these brightest of world talents have emerged from. And, well, we wish Emma Johansson an improved approach now at this big triple bar to get them underway. A triple bar is always an interesting fence to have as the first, because it's saying to the riders, you've got to attack from the outset, as if Bernardo Costa Cabral's giving them a little insight as to things that are going to come up on the course later. But as a rider, it can just slightly unnerve you, because you know you've got to see a really good stride into a sprig fence. Coffee still hasn't quite kicked in this morning. We are working on it. So Mecca, just waiting for the fence to be reconstructed. Well, my heart goes out to Emma Johansson. She is having a really tough start here. When she reapproached the triple bar, I was happy the way the horse jumped it, because really looked not too affected by the first refusal. But I'm afraid clearly the horse has been rattled at the first, and things have gone very sour for the young Swede. It's really sad to see. It's her second Europeans. She was in Šamarin for the Children on Horses Europeans of 2017. And I'm afraid it is a very disappointing start for her, and her competition is prematurely over. We stay with Scandinavia, and out on the course is Ingrid Sandhøj Bjørklund for Norway. Out on the track. Norway will bring 3 starters to this Junior European Championships this year, and Adi Z is jumping. Well, I thought jumping, I'm afraid. Grinds the brakes on. The next thing we haven't mentioned is the fact that it's a very bright early morning, and the shadows cast are also another factor with the horse's vision. And that can just, of course, back a horse off just as he's about to take off, leave him questioning the landing, particularly is influential with the shadows. And that could be a factor for some of these slightly awkward looking jumps that are evident this morning. Ingrid Sandhøj Bjørklund comes home. She had to fight around the course with Ari Z after that slightly unnerving start again, but
24 seconds, 22
she survives well enough.
with 2 down.
And it's going to be the 8 penalties.
Saldo 94 segundos, 22 centésimos.
94.22 was the slow time for the pair for Norway. Now we come to Poland.
Passando para Polónia. Poland, number 7.
On the start of Olga Skrobacz is number 17 of the 102 to get underway. Poland bringing 5 to the Junior Europeans, and it's a promising start out over the opener. Quincy. Nicely through the early lines here. Just coming back to that Vilamoura equestrian vertical. The left-handed cut back to this blue and white oxer. Fence number 5 now just coming to the treble that has been causing some shadow issues, I think. Pops through there very nicely. And then 7 is a very good start here for Olga Skrobacz. It's a very elegant jockey. She sits beautifully balanced and again, good contact with the horse's mouth through the elbows, hands, bit.
66
And that is a very good round, I must say. Delighted to see Olga Skrobacz coming home. 66.14 goes, third at the moment. It's a very strong start for the young Pole. Superb to see.
Passamos para o número 18. Representante da Letónia, temos a amazona Anna Alsina Montecleo. Latvia is next, number 18 of the starting list. Anna Alsina riding Cleo.
The next to come is the combination for Latvia getting underway. Ania Alsina is away. This is Alia Pope and Raymond Rukeris is Cleo, the new starters. 9-year-old Collard crossed to Levantos the first. He's a Latvian gelding as well. Anna making her debut at the European Championships for 2021, so particularly good wishes to her. This pair jumped in Estonia. That was the Grand Prix in Pärnu, their last outing. Had a couple of rails down over 1.45 m, so they're used to this level of difficulty in terms of height. Couple of rails down for Cleo on the early part of Bernardo Costa Cabral's track. And another one out of the double 9B falling. Just now circling down to this difficult oxer, particularly with that plank as the front bar. And that is pretty sneaky from Bernardo because they're going to be cutting across that, angling to get as tight a turn into 10 as possible to then set up for the final line. And being a plank, it's going to come down all the more easily. And it's a white one as well, just to add to the difficulty, to ramp up the difficulty. But not a bad start from the young Latvian. Completing with 12 to add 93.28 was a time for Ania Alsina just completing.
23.28 for Anna Alsina. Doing his round, we have number 9.
Well, both Max and Tom Vachman are here this week, and they're both superb competitors for Ireland. As away goes Brooklyn de Hoos out on the course, 10 years of age. This is a Self-Francais mare. She's the daughter of Conrad, crossed to Fergar Male. It also goes back to the full-blood Ledanum. It's a very good sire back in the pedigree. And Max Vachman, he was the Pony European champion. That brilliant pair of goals came in Stregom in Poland, the Pony double, 2019 with Kufsgraham's Cavalidum. for this young talent. And this is very smooth. I love the style here. This horse is just pinging around. The rhythm is not changing. It's very, very quick. And Oliver Fletcher is under fire here because 63.21 is a time to beat. And Max Wachmann is going to put that time to the sword. Super round. 0.45 of a second ahead. Brooklyn Hoos is into the lead. That was impressive. 0.45 precisely. Ireland now leads Great Britain, and Noah Keller for Switzerland dropping into third place. Great exhibition. And I tell you, Max Wachmann on that sort of form could be the man to beat this week for the Junior European title. That was impressive. It's superb to have such a wide range of nations for these 2021 Junior Europeans. And I was very excited to see too for Croatia on the start list. Beautiful country that flanks the Adriatic. Had a couple of trips to Croatia, to Makarska, to Agrana, two lovely coastal locations, and out to Brač, the Croatian island. And it is a wonderful summer spot. And Leah Jelmik is away. This is Flyer out on the course for Leah. She's very experienced. Europeans coming in Zuidewolde 2 years ago and in Chamorin in 2017 as well. She's got a great Balkan youth record as well. She won the individual bronze, team gold it was, in Zagreb at home in Croatia in 2018. Just one early rail down with Flyer out on Bernardo Costa Cabral's course. Coming down to the final fence and jumps it nicely. Good round for the Croatian. This pair won in Olomouc in the Czech Republic mid-June of this year. That was over 1.40 m, a Grand Prix no less as well. So they are in good form and they start their junior campaign in good enough fashion.
Now it's the Russian Federation number 28. Correction, it's number 21. Milena Berisha riding Corlandos.
We stay with Eastern Europe. We have 5 more to come before the first interval. We're approaching 1/4 of the way through these Junior European Championships opening competition. As I said, if you're just joining us at the top of the programme, the team declaration's not yet made. That is the Chef de Keep's task today. They have to declare their team by 5 p.m. tonight in advance of the second competition tomorrow. There is the possibility of a substitution if one of their team incurs either horse or rider injury, or if they're struck by an accident. So there can be a late substitution within an hour of the first round of the team finals to come. That is the position. And out on course, Milena Berisha jumping for Russia. It's her first Junior Europeans. Corlandos has started very nicely back to this Plankoxa. They won the Grand Prix at home in Russia. Ivanovsko in June of this year. Coming down to the final fence, and it's a good round for the young pair for Russia.
Total of 76 seconds. 49.
As we say, there is going to be this conversion from the schools today. There'll be a multiplication of their time after this first competition by a coefficient of 0.5 and conversion into points then. And then the quickest will be given a score of 0. That's their points total. They'll carry into the next days that lie ahead of us. And then the difference in points between the leader and those that are following will then represent the followers' scores to carry on, if that makes sense. It's a little complex, the process, but there it is. And we'll, of course, give you the scores as they come clear. But now we focus because his brother Max Wachmann leads away 62.76, and this is HH Fireball on course for Tom Wachmann. Again, he's off to a sharp start. And this is a beautiful little jumper. Tom was part of that team alongside his brother that won the team gold in Stregom's Ponies of 2019. And HH Fireball, like his brother's horse, looks absolutely primed for this competition. The last outing was in Knokke, 7th in the meter 45, two-star Grand Prix. Beautiful show in Belgium. That was in early July. Tom Wachman comes home. Oh, yes. 0.14 of a second ahead of his brother. The Wachman boys are in absolutely superb standing.
62
Fireball, 62.62. 0.14 of a second ahead of Max Wachman and Brooklyn de Hoos. What a commanding start for the Wachman family. The pair for Ireland lead the way, and Oliver Fletcher drops into third place. Super stuff. Two to come, back-to-back for Belgium out on the course of Bernardo Costa Cabral to kick off the Junior Europeans as Tristan Guisson gets away. This is Naturel Van Het Legieterhof Z jumping. She's a young mare, just 9 years of age, daughter of Nabab Derev. The horse that Philippe Lejeune actually took to the World Games in Jerez back in 2002. Just down the coastline, across the border into Spain. And it's a very good start for Tristan. It's his debut at the European Championships. This pair had a very good prep outing in the Netherlands at Kronenberg. Beautiful Pielberg and Equestrian Centre. Ken Royson runs, and that was a very good second in the 145 Grand Prix in Pielberg. Last outing, 8th in Opkelbeek's Grand Prix as well. In mid-May, and that's a very good round. Oof, 0.1 of a second outside Tom Wachman's time. The Wachman pair are split up by Tristan Guisson. They'll be delighted into second. 62.72, 0.1 of a second precisely. Into what is in effect, it's very early days yet, but the individual silver medal position. This lady is very talented. Late start in this first session of jumping. Evelyn Putters is on course now for Belgium. Evelyn at her second Youth European. She was in the Fontainebleau Children on Horses Europeans of 2018. That went well. Angel van der Hof was 7th individually. And team bronze for Evelyn Putters. Jut de Rot is her ride here in Portugal. This is a stallion. He's superbly bred, 13 years of age. Calvaro FC crossed a Jalisco B. One of the famous jumping names, Jalisco. They jumped here actually 1 year ago as their fact-finding mission, 3-star competition. Vilamoura is an extraordinary equestrian centre. This year already, the 10th week of show jumping. There's 7 more weeks to come this year alone. And Evelyn Putters does not care about that because we have a new leader. The green light is on. And Evelyn Putters, 61.92, claims precisely 0.7 of a second advantage over Tom Wachman. HH Fireball's lead is short-lived and Evelyn Putters exits. 61.92 is the score that will likely lead, depending on what Pablo Valle Espinido does now for Spain. Last of the first session. Santiago de Blondel to anchor the first quarter of the competition. 25th of the 102 to start, getting underway. Interesting here because same sire, Calvaro FC, as Jut de Rot just completed and leading for Evelyn Putters. Super start, Santiago de Blondel absolutely soars out over the Oxa at 5 to lead them down into the treble. This horse is very scopy. You're going to need a scopy horse, a powerful horse this week, but also one with the stamina to last the distance. And I'm afraid Pablo Valle Espinido is into trouble. Into that double, that was the horror spot, the deep spot that leaves riders like quaking in their boots on the sidelines thinking, oh, if that was me, how does it feel? I remember well, an uncomfortable moment. I didn't see them too often, thankfully, but it does happen.
One down, so adding 4 seconds.
And it is one down at very deep spot into 9-8 is the downfall.
71 segundos, 0,4 centésimas para o binômio Pablo Valle e Santiago de Blondel. 5 minutos de pausa.
Well, this, ladies and gentlemen, is our short break in Vilamoura. We'll be back in 5 minutes with the second of our sessions here for the Junior European Show Jumping Championships.
Bom dia a todos, o meu nome é António Moura, sou o Show Director do Campeonato da Europa de Vilamoura 2021, que vamos dar início no dia 18 e que se prolongará até o dia 25 de julho. Vilamoura, para este campeonato, aqui em Vilamoura, eu reunia uma equipa extraordinária que é o garante de que tudo se vai passar da melhor forma possível, em que todos nos iremos esforçar para o conforto, o vosso conforto e dos vossos cavalos. Já que estamos a falar de conforto, começo-vos a falar que as previsões de temperatura são entre 25 e 28 graus, portanto, fiquem descansados, não há nenhuma onda de calor aqui por Vilamoura, há sim o bem-estar de todos e onde todos vamos poder, com certeza, nos divertir imenso a ver este campeonato, onde com certeza aqui irão nascer novas estrelas deste desporto que nós tanto gostamos, o salto de obstáculos. Nós já organizámos em 2004 aqui em Vilamoura também um campeonato da Europa e em 2011 também em Portugal, na Comporta. Portanto, nós somos um garante de uma experiência ao longo dos anos, além de todos os concursos de 5 estrelas e de CSIOs que temos realizado ao longo de toda esta nossa vida equestre. Aqui nascem as estrelas. Nós aqui em 2004 tivemos Roberto Whittaker, Ben Mayer, Juliano Melchior, Edu Aznar e Sérgio Alves Moya, para dizer só alguns nomes, os outros que me perdoem, mas a lista é imensa. Na Comporta também tivemos os irmãos Philip Hart, o Martin Fuchs, a Lisa Nuren e o Jos Verlooy. São realmente, isto vem-nos dar a ideia de que, com certeza que aqui dentro destes 280 cavaleiros que vão aqui estar presentes em Vilamoura, destas 30 nações, vamos ter novas estrelas do nosso desporto. E isso sim, a renovação é um imperativo da vida e, portanto, congratulamos-nos muito de poder participar nessa ajuda e de fazer nascer estas novas estrelas. Vilamoura é o sítio ideal para a prática do hipismo na Europa. É o melhor sítio, não tenho a menor dúvida. Portanto, no inverno como verão, nós temos um clima muito ameno que permite sempre podermos praticar esta nossa modalidade que tanto gostamos e amamos ao longo de todos os anos. Por isso nós termos aqui em Vilamoura várias turnês de inverno, verão e outono. Não me resta muito mais para vos dizer, apenas
So at this moment
que é
we
com...
have Evelyn Pritchard's reading
queremos
the
desejar
class,
a maior
leading
sorte
this competition in
a todos,
61.92.
que ganhe o melhor
Second place,
e que
Ireland.
nós estaremos aqui
watchman,
para vos apoiar
62,
e vos dar a
third,
incentivar
Belgium, Tristan
para que
Buisson,
corra tudo
62,
pelo
72,
melhor.
fourth,
Não quero deixar de
Watchman.
me despedir
62, 76,
sem
and in
agradecer
fifth place so
aos
far
nossos
for
sponsors,
Oliver
pois
Fletcher,
sem os
63,
sponsors
21.
nada disto era possível.
This is the first
E muito especialmente
competition
à Caixa
of
Agrícola
the
do Algarve,
European Jumping
ao GPA, e ao meu
Championship
amigo Michel Fankel,
of Juniors
que teve uma intervenção muito
2021.
firme sempre junto dos meus concursos, a apoiar-me, e também à Vilamoura World, que é a nossa grande anfitriã, que é a dona deste resort maravilhoso, que é Vilamoura, com todos estes hotéis, casinos e restaurantes de primeira, da máxima categoria. Portanto, a todos, eu quero saudar e agradecer também à Federação Equestre Portuguesa todo o apoio que nos tem dado. E não posso, e tenho que terminar a dar um grande agradecimento à FEI por mais uma vez ter confiado em mim e em toda a minha equipa. A todos, um muito obrigado e já sabem, aqui neste canal podem nos seguir por live streaming e nós daremos as melhores imagens e vos daremos em primeira mão os resultados deste Campeonato da Europa, onde, não se esqueçam, as estrelas vão nascer aqui em Vilamoura. Muito obrigado.
So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, after the first of our 4 sessions of show jumping to get this Junior Europeans for 2021 up and running here at this beautiful Francisco Mora arena. It was Antonio Mora, our superb event director we've just heard from, and the battle is really on here. This already is the first leg of the road. It's a long road towards the Junior European individual title. And as we say, the team nomination will happen tonight. It will be before 5 o'clock that our chef de keeps of each of our nations, 27 nations represented in the Junior Europeans alone. There's an incredible range out of the 47 European nations in total. It's an impressive representation of those 27 out of more than half of the entire European countries are here in Portugal to battle. One point of interest, because we have had a few that have been eliminated this morning already, is just to explain their fate, which is an important point. If they are eliminated or retire on this opening round, they'll be penalised with 20 penalties more than the athlete who at the end of the analysis has the heaviest score already. So they aren't out of the competition despite their elimination or their retirement. They'll simply, it's not a good position, of course. They'll have 20 penalties more than the worst score at the end of the first competition. So they are still in it, but of course they're handicapped heavily. On the other side of things, the flip side, the delight for Evelyn Putter's superb 61.92 is the leading time. And that is 0.7 of a second. The advantage she enjoys over Tom Wachman. The Wachman boys in superb form today. Opening day, HH Fireball. Lady Bamford's beautiful number 1. South Francais Gelding, 62.62 in second. Then for Belgium, and Ireland going head-to-head here. Early days, but Tristan Buisson is third for Belgium. And Verlaan heads Legitim Offset. Then Max Wachman, Oliver Fletcher. Ireland and Britain are current 1 to 5.
Já temos
So this is
informação
the
que o
scene.
primeiro conjunto já
And if
está
you're just joining us, a very good
para a
morning, and it's
pista.
going to be a wonderful 6
Destination
days of competition.
Now
We will bring you the Young Riders first round this afternoon.
Netherlands, we have
And I tell you, there are some young riders of extreme quality
riding.
we look forward to
I've got
seeing,
the
including
key.
the likes of Harry Allen. Bertram Allen heading to the Olympics in Tokyo for the senior Irish team. And Harry will be here to battle for the young rider title starting this afternoon. That's one of several of prime quality that have got my attention firmly fixed on the young riders to come this afternoon. We restart the juniors, and Thymen Vos will launch us back into action. Thymen rides the beautiful Irish sport horse, 11 years of age, womanizer across to Eckstein's son. I've got the key. Let's hope they have got the key to this demanding Bernardo Costa Cabro track. Thymen making his second European Championship start. He was in Zuiderwolde on home turf in the Netherlands. That was the last of the Europeans at youth level in 2019. And it was a great effort as well with Theo, his horse then, because Team Gold it was with the Dutch. And I've got the key getting underway for Thymen Vos. We restart. This pair, unsurprisingly, Nations Cup combinations for the junior Dutch team. They were in Hagen over 1.40 m. Had a clear and a couple of rails down in the second round in Germany. That was in mid-June of this year. Also in Lamprechtshausen in Austria. Team bronze it was in Austria for this pair. Thymen Vos is off to a very smooth start. I like their style. It's beautifully flowing. Nothing much is changing in terms of the rhythm. All Thymen's balance. He sits superbly, elegantly. Rider balance is an obvious point, but it's an ever increasing point in terms of rider awareness. I know Marlon Modolo Zanotelli was second in that Rolex Grand Prix at the Dutch Masters this spring. He goes to the Olympics for Brazil, and he works a lot on core stability just to assist the riders to keep in that beautiful balance. And Thymen Vos has a good round. It's going to be 4 seconds to add, 71.14.
I've got the key.
67.14 was his time, was good enough without the penalty for 10th position, but it is going to drop him down, I'm afraid, a little bit lower. 13th place as we stand, having jumped 26, so exactly halfway down the field for the young Dutchman.
Pelo Mónaco temos a Amazona Cristina Klebanova Monte Burial de Rhodes, número 27 da ordem de entrada. For Monaco, number 27, Cristina Klebanova.
The Principality of Monaco's second string to their bow. Anastasia Nielsen was first out for Monaco as we welcome Cristina Klebanova. Is off to a good start. Very first junior Europeans for Cristina getting underway. Boyle de Rhodes is her smart chestnut. She's a Saint-Français, daughter of Arpège Pierreville, Haras Nationaux stallion. Crossed to Quero de Palstra. This pair haven't got a huge amount of mileage at 140 level. This indeed their fifth outing only up at this fairly impressive height. They've been together just since February this year, so it's a fresh pair. Cristina Klebanova is jumping a very good round. Just economical over that Plancox, but they have survived it. And now it's a steady round, but it's a very good start to their campaign and at their first junior Europeans.
It is a clear round.
It's a great debut. Clear round for Cristina Klebanova. And Monaco have got off to a very good start here in the deep south of Portugal here at Vilamoura. It's an extraordinary spot. I'm a golfer, and I tell you, I'd love to come down and play the old course, the Dom Pedro course. There's 5 championship golf courses here.
Rider is Nick
Whether we'll get time to
Cooper and
nip
expiry
to a golf
80.
track, I would doubt with the
Zona
start
Vilamoura.
numbers 102 juniors, 85 young
Cooper,
riders to
número
come.
28.
But I also, of course, love my horses, so that is no harm at all. But now we welcome Slovenia's Nika Kuma is out on the course. This is Epsilon AC jumping. This one side by, I think, my favourite sire of all time, Kashmir van Schuttershoff. And that is because Kashmir, well, two horses. There might be more, but going to the Olympics, both Gazelle of Kent Farrington fame. Horse that's won the Grand Prix in Aachen and in Geneva, and Peter Fredriksson's H&M All In. Both side by Kashmir van Schuttershoff. Olympic individual silver for Peter in Rio and going to Tokyo. But I'm afraid the bloodlines are irrelevant because Espion AC finds an awkward takeoff spot, just losing power into the treble and the vertical. Mid part of 6B is the Slovenian halt spot, I'm afraid. Fence must be reconstructed and Nika Kuma has got this heart-stopping weight. It is a frustrating moment, but also you're just wanting to get back into action as soon as you can. Try and put that penalty behind you. Well, the Slovenians made a very good recovery through the triple. And then the Oxa on that long straight line of the four fences, 6A to 7, comes down. My impression here is that Bernardo Costa Cabral has got this first round to kick off the Europeans absolutely perfectly, because it's a fair test. Yes, a big test, but it's fair. A horse like Epsilon, he's had problems, but he's still come across the line. Confidence intact. However, for those at the sharp end of this competition, the likes of superb Evelyn Putters, Tom Wachman, Tristan Guisson and Max Wachman, it's been a very good test against the clock. It's demanding. There's a few very interesting cut-back turns they can take, particularly to that Plankoxa at 10, and if they're game and really bravely going to angle across it, risky as it is across the Plankoxa, it's all there as a reward if you're good enough, and that is, I think, the mark of a great course when both not penalising those that are struggling slightly and challenging those at the top end are both happening at the same time. We now come to the fourth of the second session on course for Spain. Another one, debutant at the Europeans. Carmen Mateos de Urbina is on course. This is Alto de Talma. This stallion, Quid de Talma, crossed to Caprice Bois Margaux, some superb bloodlines. Owned by Jose Maria Mateo Salgado, and they jumped in the Cabourg Youth Nations Cup in France in early June. They jumped fairly well there. Couple down in one round, one down in the other, and a time. But I'm afraid that Oxa at 7 is their second mistake out on the course. This is another new combination this year. They formed in April only of this season. Horse produced by Hugo Breuil, the very good French jockey, up into October of last year. It's a big, powerful Self-Francais dark bay as Alto de Talma runs down to the final fence. Couple down it is for Carmen Mateos de Urbina, but the Spanish challenge is okay. One of those rounds I think she'll be neither totally disappointed on reflection or elated, like the likes of Evelyn Putters and Tom Wachman, who got off to a dream start, but it's a long way to go yet.
Spain
both
to Portugal.
individual and
Para
team
Portugal, o representante
honours
número
this
30
year.
da ordem de entrada
The next to
é
come,
João Patrício
the home nation
Monta Segran
has
Canyon.
4 it brings to the Junior European Championships for this season. And João Patricio is the next to come for Portugal. This is C Grand Canyon Z, the new jumper. 10 years of age, owned by Francisca Vaz-Guedes. Colter Z crossed to Corial Z. This is number 30, approaching 1/3 of the way through this marathon opening round at the Junior Europeans. João Patricio has made a superb, solid start here. His second Youth Europeans, it's his first juniors, was at the Children on Horses in Zuidewolde in the Netherlands in 2019. The last hosting of the Europeans, that was with this horse as well. Obviously got a very good combination as they're clear down to the final 3 fences here at Vilamoura. They've had a lot of experience in this arena. It doesn't pay off, sadly, at the penultimate. But they've jumped here consistently through the spring and summer. They were here in the autumn of last year as well. Home ground for them in effect, and it is just that late mistake for C Grand Canyons. They're coming home with João Patricio. The time, 72.16, is going to slot them down into 14th position as we stand. 11 seconds or so behind Evelyn Puteris, who leads the way for Belgium. Well, the French Challenge starting late in this, what is drawn order. There's no respect to nationalities given when the draw is taken, so it's just an absolute, genuine random draw out of the hat. And France have got a total to start the Junior Europeans of 5. Jules Orsolini gets underway. Clandestine SAS is her ride. I'm very excited to watch the French at the Olympics, the senior squad, because that is an exciting quartet. Mathieu Billot, that's his incredible Kel Filou, a horse that is in sensational form. Watched him just 2 weekends ago. Simon de Lestre, Burlac Z. Simon's also in brilliant style. And Nicolas Delmotte, he won in Le Ball and he won in Chantilly. And that's going to be superb. And of course, Le Prevot has got all the experience. So I think France can be quite an interesting team coming to Tokyo.
64.92 for the French rider Jules Orsolini. The time was
so Jules Orsolini coming home.
The knockdown of an obstacle at
just the early mistake. It was a good time. 64.92. And Jules goes up into 6th position.
This is the
good enough effort for the young Frenchman. Now we come to Liechtenstein. And delighted to welcome this lovely little CSIO belt. I've enjoyed watching this horse down in the south of France over this and last season. Reminds me of Hermes Ryan, that Simon de Lestre won the individual bronze in Aaken's Europeans in 2015. Jennifer Hofstadter, CSIO belt are off to a good start and a sharp start as well. This is quick. We're looking for Evelyn Putters is 61.92. Deep spot into the treble, but CSIO belt has got the engine power to bring Jennifer Hofstadter out without penalty. 9 years of age, this Tinker's boy, gone far on gelding. This is very good here. 61.92, nearly got into trouble on that very tight turn. Not going to get ahead of the top 3, but where can Jennifer Hofstadter go? It's a very good round indeed.
And it is
66.71. It's going to go into 11th position.
First competition.
Superb start for the
juniors.
pair for Liechtenstein.
Italy is next, number 33 of the starting list. In campo per Italia, Beatrice Bacchetta. In sella, Ida von Herwerschen.
This lady has a awkward jump at that multicoloured oxo. I'm afraid it's an early pair of mistakes for Beatrice Bacchetta out on the course here for Italy. Beatrice at her second Youth European. She was in Mill Street in Ireland. Superb base that has been a real hub of world horse sport now. The beautiful Mill Street facility. That was a team bronze with Fantasia back in 2016. Beatrice brings Jada van der Gavaranch down towards this combination 9A and B. This horse is looking fairly feisty, and I think that is the slight problem here for Beatrice. He's just running the mare down into the bottom of the fences. Qualibet Hero crossed the Nabab de Rev. And big jump out over the final fence, but I'm afraid it's a tale of a little too late for the Italian pair. Frustrating round because, well, the mare, as I say, just looks a little bit hot under the collar and therefore not quite giving the front bars the respect they require. 16 seconds it's going to be to add. It's a fair landslide that Beatrice must weather.
Numero 34.
Now, this lady is very, very good. Elena Mizadri gets away for France now, number 34. Arsifu is her ride of the morning here in Vilamoura. Had a superb individual and team bronze at the Europeans on ponies in Stregom in Poland, 2019 Marcin Konarski's superb base that also hosted the European Championships in eventing. That was 2017. Ingrid Klimke claimed the gold there with SAP Hail Bob ahead of Mikael Jung unusually. And Elena Mizadri, early mistake for Arsifu coming down to the double. They were in Hagen, fourth in the Nations Cup with the French team in mid-June. Nations Cup at home in Cabourg and in Optlebeek as well in Belgium all this season. Again, had one down and a clear in Optlebeek, so they have been in good form this season. But Arsifu comes home, couple down. It's a frustrating start for the beautiful white-faced chestnut Elena Mizadri, completing with 8 seconds to add. Was a fairly quick round because despite that 8-second addition, 73.09 is the French final time for the Ogano Sit. Stallion, Arsifu completing for France.
Numero 35. Sono Carrot Charlton, Montagallina, Ireland, through the rider Carrot Charlton and Galina.
Cara Charlton is out on the early part of the course for Ireland now. Again, debutante at the Junior European Championships. "17 years of age, and Galina is her ride out on the Bernardo Costa Cabral track this morning, and it's a very good start. The Irish, they're tail high with Tom Vachman second, Max Vachman in fourth as we stand. As we say, team nominations to happen before 5 o'clock this afternoon. And the Irish looking to go toe-to-toe for the Junior European team title. It's early days, but they are the informed nations as we are just 1¼ hours into the competition. Galina turns for home. That's a shame. Late mistake, that water tray. Vertical and the final fence both going.
So he's 2 down.
It's a disappointing run for home for Cara Charlton, having started so
76
well.
Seconds, 50.
And I'm already was starting to think about Ireland in the team shake-up. Of course, they may well still be. They do have 5 combinations to battle for the Junior European Team title. And the one that's not nominated for the team, the 5th, can, of course, be substituted into the team should need be. And, of course, they can continue in the individual competition. That is granted. Now we come to Senna Aversa. This is a very good Dutch jockey. Casper van der Roossacker is away for Senna. The Dutch team for the Olympics. Michael van der Vleuten, Mark Houtsacher and Harry Smolders. It's an exciting trio to go to Japan. They'll be very much on their journeys. Senna Aversa is off to a good start here. This is the Echo van der Spieveld cross to Diamond de Semi here, the dam sire. One of the greatest names in world show jumping breeding. And Senna coming down through the double combination. Good start for the young Dutch rider. She's at her 2nd European Championships, having been to Fontainebleau. That was the Children on Horses Champs of 2018 with Everts. Her first Junior Europeans this week, and her campaign is off to a good enough start. Just one down, and the time 70.03 with that 4-second increment to add under the Table C rules that the open competitions at all of the levels of the Europeans is governed by. Saw that in Gothenburg, the Europeans of 2017. Peter Fredriksson won the European individual title. H&M and All In got off to a good start in the Ullevi Stadium. And if you can't get off to a good start in this interesting format, you are going to flounder as the week progresses. That is the nature of the beast at the European Championships. Now, Germany getting underway in the first of the quintet for one of the strongest nations in world show jumping. Joanna Beckman is out of the start. This is the lovely named Alpha Jet DB. He's superbly bred, the son of Arpeggio as he gelding. And the dam sire here, Corner to Blensky. Marco Kutscher's legendary stallion, both as a jumper and as a breeding stallion. Alpha Jet DB. Ooh, no, Joanna Beckman has had a shocker. That is sad to see. Into the treble. Just totally lost some momentum into that middle vertical, which has been catching out a few. I've thrown down my shadow hypothesis. Whether that is factually correct or not is in the lap of the gods, but it is a theory. Alpha Jet has a stunning loss of power, and I'm afraid Joanna Beckman has had a really tough start at 6B.
Still leading the class, we have the Belgium rider Evelyn Putters in 61 seconds, 92 hundredths, and we move on to Norway. Norway is Martin Moy riding Dinero de Lobry.
But as we say, elimination, yes it is, but there is the consolation that they will be still part of the competition. Yes, qualification for the individual finals, looking very unlikely with that problem in the treble. And of course, as we say, the selectors and the chef de keep haven't had to nominate their teams yet. So again, looking very unlikely that Joanna Beckman will be part of the German quartet. So sad to see the young Germans' downfall. The next to come, Norway, we welcome. And this is Martina Maria Mør on course. Martina brings the Dinero de Lobry down to the Vilamoura vertical off the little turn at 4. Certainly very respectful down to the treble. Kept the power up, I thought it just about enough, but the back bar out of the combination tells another story. Martina Mo making her third European Championship start this week. She was in Stregon 2019 and in Chamorin, the brilliant ex-Bionic Sphere equestrian arena, and indeed hub of many sports just to the west side of Slovakia, just due east of Vienna. But
So
I'm
you've
afraid
gone
just
down
that one down
4
out
seconds
of the
to
combination,
final time, which
I
is,
just thought
16
to my eye
seconds
was just
to
a little bit
36
underpowered at the start. It was
for winner of
conservative.
the lovely
I
Martin
understand
Manuel.
that, of course, the treble
Mariette.
causing difficulty, but maybe
But
just needed to generate a little
Britain
bit more oomph off the
in
corner.
arena through number 39.
Martina Mo has the one down,
It is
and with that
Eva
time
Vernon
addition,
riding
still fairly quick.
Jolie Fleur
69.36, I guessed,
from
and Harry de
the
Lawbury's got a ground covering stride, which is the deceptive part of that Norwegian package. So now Britain focuses, because Oliver Fletcher has got Britain in 5th position as we stand with Hello William. Ava Vernon is our new starter. This, the Cassini II Talok M Mare, owned by Dean Vernon. Jolie Fleur van der Noord-Heuvel is on the course, and it's a sharp start again for this young Brit. Ava Vernon travels down to the treble. This is more the tempo, much punchier, more Scott Brash energy here. You'll notice with the likes of Scott, Ken Farrington, the lead protagonists in world show jumping, they just keep things motoring around the corners. It's not cautious like as an event rider I thought show jumping in my day was meant to be. A cautious affair. It's not like that the more I'm learning. And Ava Vernon coming quickly down to the final fence here. 61.92. It's going to be just outside, but it's a superb 0.78, just 3/4 of a second down on Evelyn Putters this time. Ava Vernon goes into 3rd position with the Belgian Jolie Fleur van der Noord-Heuvel. Super effort. And Ava Vernon is at her very first European Championships. That is a job very well done.
Through Hannah Strider riding Lakisha 3rd.
Well, there is some weight on Hannah Schrader's young shoulders because of the problems for Joanna Beckman just recently. The German selectors and the entire team here need a good round to right the ship, which was rocked badly in the treble combination. Lakisha is on course for Hannah Schrader. Again, championship debutant, but not riding like one. She's got the bit firmly between her teeth here. Now, slightly nervy looking turn into the treble, but secures it well enough here. Lakisha, this pair have been together since December of 2019, was their very first competitive start in Salzburg in the famous Messezentrum. Northwest flank of Austria. One down for Lakisha. They jumped in the Nations Cup in Virden, had a very good clear, and one time double clear it was jumping for that team bronze for the Germans, but the last goes as well. So Germany are off to a tough enough start. I'm impressed that Hannah Schrader got home well, because I had my anxieties. Saw a slightly nervy turn into the treble after the problems of Joanna Beckman, but she completes well. 8 penalties though it is, and Germany have got to play a very fast game of catch-up over the 5 days that remain ahead of us here in Vilamoura. 71.17 was the time for Hannah Schrader. Lizana Kiss is out on the course, early stages for the Hungarian. Superb to welcome 4 for Hungary to the Junior European start line. Lisanne Kiss, quite experienced though at the Youth Europeans, 2 to her credit already in Zuidewolde 2 years ago and in Fontainebleau of 2018, where the Hungarian team were impressively 5th. That was aboard Eliana. Cashflow 6 is off to a good start here and very confidently just lets the horse run down to that green top toxer at 6. This pair's best finish this year was 10th in the Lamprechtshausen Grand Prix, again in Austria. That was in May, early May of this year. Cashflow is jumping a very good round here for Lisanne Kiss. Comes to the final fence, and that is a good start to her junior European campaign. This superb early morning here in Vilamoura.
Competition, Cashflow
And, yes, well happy. Of course she is. 68.8 seconds the time.
42.
And she'll go into 14th position. We have now jumped 41, ladies and gentlemen. We're just approaching the halfway stage of our opening junior competition. We stay with the Eastern Europeans as Croatia getting away. Kim Vukadin is on course. This is combination number 42. Frank Johansson owns this, the Canstako Chasseur, the first Hanoverian mare. She's 11. Ciccolina is out of the start, well with Kim Vukadin. Ciccolina. This is a punchy start as well for the Croatian pair. Rip through the treble. Now this double combination not causing too much impact. This late technical double question. That's a shame. Back bar of the Oxer goes again for Kim Vukadin. She's at her 3rd European Championship. She was in Zuidewolde 2 years ago with her other horse Indira. And her debut came in Fontainebleau back in 2018. She's had a very good Balkan Children on Horses record as well. Team 4th place was in Istanbul in Turkey, again a couple of years ago, so she's experienced. And Ciccolina, it is a couple down out on Bernardo Costa Cabral's course. Sorry, 3 down actually. 12 penalties is the conversion into seconds, and 75.02 is the final Croatian time.
Mark is Gabriel Strigl riding Can Fly.
Gabriel Strigl is out of the start beautifully for Denmark. One mistake, but overall impression is very solid here for the Danes. Just to remind you, Evelyn Putters has set the best time of the morning. 61.92 the time to beat, just 0.7 of a second exactly behind. Lady Banff was beautiful. HH Fireball with Tom Wachman, and the recent round that's had an impact on our leaderboard, on our podium as well. Ava Vernon, her first Europeans, has been very impressive this morning. That is Jolie Fleur van der Noord-Hervel in the individual bronze as we stand. It's early days yet, but that is the best of the morning's running. Gabriel Strigl has continued this fairly good progress. That one early mistake is just one of those things that can happen. It is her first Europeans as well, and Can Fly. She lives up to her name well enough, the Canan daughter. Canan, one of the extraordinary stallions.
Seconds, 60 hundredths for Can Fly and Gabriela Strigl.
Over the, well, last few decades in world show jumping, Canan himself was the ride of Michel Heccar, the Europeans in San Patriano in Italy back in 2005. And some famous sons, the most famous, more than likely, Steve Gardaz, Nino de Buissonnet, London Olympic champion in 2012. There are, of course, several others, but I would venture to say that Nino, who was retired in Geneva a few years ago, the most famous of the Can-Am line. But now we come to Austria. Delighted to welcome Elisabeth Knaus to the start. When I'm not on the commentary road, I'm delighted to now live in Austria, and it's an extraordinary nation to be part of. Cancun is jumping. Katoki cross to Sakor. Elisabeth owns this gelding herself. It was bred by the Barons. Katoki cross to Sakor. Cancun. It's a good start here for Elisabeth. It is her second European. She was in Stregon, the ponies of 2019 with And My Midnight Lady. Apologies for the loss of your picture for a moment. And it's a very good round for Elisabeth Knaus. Her first Junior Europeans is a great start to her week. And 68.51 was the Austrian time. Will put her into 14th position. And she's off to a good start this week. She's up and running at her first European Championships. Ireland having a very good start to the Junior Europeans with Tom Vachman in second and Max Vachman in fifth place. There's away now, Ella Quigley out on the course for Ireland. Ella again is mildly experienced, shall we say, at the Youth European. She was in Shamrin in Slovakia in 2017 aboard Gladiator. Was a good 11th position she finished in individually in Slovakia. The graphic on your screen is the one before, I'm sure you've all recognised. Ella Quigley. Horinda H is her Dutch 9-year-old Tournesh mare owned by Don Webb Horses. Couple down for the Irish lady as she hails down to the last line and adding, I'm afraid, a little bit of insult to injury here. 3 down now for Horinda H as they run down to the final fence. Climbs out over it, yeah, but a deep spot I'm afraid again, and Horinda H has a tough start for Ella Quigley at the Junior European. She does come home, but it is 4 fences down, 16 penalties, and it's going to be a total time with this conversion under Table C rules from penalties, fence falls to time added. 84.05 is Horinda H's final time. Well, 5 more to come. Everybody until the halfway break here in Vilamoura. The Junior Europeans of 2021 is well up and running. We have a battle already brewing. When I saw the start list with the 27 nations, I must say I found it really exciting, such as the breadth of world show jumping at the youngest of levels, really developing beautifully. And delighted to now welcome for the Czech Republic, Anna Hellebrantova is on course. Anna riding Laura Hellebrantova's Ipo van der Achterhoek Z. 10 years of age, this gelding. He's the son of Echo van der Spiefeld out on the track. It's a promising start, and again, punchy through the treble. She really keeps the engine ticking over down to the green top doxa. Anna Hellebrantova has made a simply superb start to her round. She's got to just keep a nice firm hand on the tiller down through the last line, and she does, and that is really good. 1.89 seconds only down on the leading time of Evelyn Putters. It's her second Youth European. She was in Fontainebleau in 2018 with this same horse and 16th individually 3 years ago. Well done,
it is Oliver Pisaricki riding,
because that is going to put The Czech right into contention. The next to come, we stay with the Czech Republic. Oliver Pisarik is our new starter. This is the Bohemia Energy Clubs' de Senat, cross to Ideal de la Loge Stallion. Don Corleone is on course for Oliver Pisarik. It's a very solid looking horseman. There's a lot of factors we're looking at in terms of rider position to make an assessment, but certainly upper body balance is crucial. Independent hands, you're not leaning on the horse's mouth when you're over the fence in particular, is crucial. And lower leg position as well, assisting the horse's movement in terms of the aids the rider's giving is another one of the real features of a horseman or a horsewoman. Just one down for Don Corleone and Oliver Pisarik as they turn for home, but it's a good effort here. I'm impressed with this rider from the Czech Republic. In fact, Aleš Opatrný was a former winner of the Falsterbo Derby. I was there in 2016 when Aleš took it. It was actually his horse's first Derby ever, and he won for the Czech. That was 5 years ago, but they've got some great riders both in show jumping and in eventing as well. And it's a solid round for the young man.
We have
for Czechia, just completing 8 to add. 80.31 was the final time for Oliver Pisarik. Just to confirm that Anna Helebrantova has gone into 7th position. 63.81 within 2 seconds of Evelyn Putter. So once the coefficient is multiplied to the score, that will not be far away for the rider for the Czech looking to improve on her former very good ride at the Europeans. But now we come to Poland. Iga Biegałska is on course. This is Dorowella jumping. Polish mare as well. Polish pair through and through. The property of Artur Biegałski. 13 years of age. Aravel the second. Cross to the Holsteiner stallion that is Dutch capital. Iga Biegałska coming down to the final line, still clear. Her second European, she was in Zuidewolde with Cardhu 2 years ago. And that is a very good round again. I must say, 2 recent rounds. One for the Czech, Anna Helebrantova. And that round for Iga Biegałska is even better. Goes into 5th position, exactly the same time as Max Wachmann and Brooklyn DeHoos. So they won't be separated. 62.76. The quality after this round does not matter. There will be no jump off at all to decide any dead heats on the time. They'll just have the same penalty score or point score to take into the week that lies ahead of us. But great effort. And Iga Biegałska and Dorowella is in a tie of 5th position. Switzerland have got off to a good start this morning. Noah Keller came very much early. And Julia's Diamond Princess lying in 10th position as we stand. As Geraldine Straumann is off to a strong start, so a big stride into that Oxer at 6. Oh no. The treble again causing havoc. Silver Surfer this is. Geraldine Straumann grinds to a horrible static. So Silver Surfer now having to represent with Geraldine Straumann. This is the unenviable task here. It's her second European. She was in Fontainebleau aboard Carriel 3 years ago. Switzerland, one of the strongest nations in world show jumping. Steve Gerdau recently knocked into second spot in the world rankings to Daniel Deusser, having held the third longest occupation in history of the world number one position. Extraordinary, and to think that they've now got 3 generations with Steve, with Martin Fuchs as the middle generation, and Brian Bausinger setting sail for the Olympics as the new top-level youngest generation for the Swiss is an extraordinary prospect that they have to enjoy over the next number of years. Geraldine Straumann comes home. What a shame, into the treble, because that pair are in great form. They won the Nations Cup in Gorle Minori in Italy in late June, but I'm afraid Silver Surfer has a tough start to the Europeans there, along with the Germans, who another strong nation in world show jumping. Both, I'm afraid, challenges coming unstuck into that treble combination at 6A. Well, now one of the great names of world show jumping, because the Philipparts family, represented by Anthony Philipparts here in Vilamoura. Father Ludo Philipparts, one of the great names of the world sport, both in terms of performances at the sharp end of world show jumping. Rode the great Darko at the Olympic Games in yesteryear. Both Olivia and Nicola Philipparts very much part of the cutting edge of Belgian show jumping. Anthony Philipparts is away. This is Jador Van Het Schack, last of the first half of the Junior Europeans. Beautiful Belgian mare. She's the daughter of Vagabond de la Pomme. Penelope Le Prévost, superb Vagabond, second in the World Cup finals in Las Vegas back in 2015. Anthony Philipparts comes down to the double combination, and he's chasing the time of fellow Belgian Evelyn Putter. Still leads away Jut de Rot, 61.92. As he turns for home, and he won't be a million miles away here. Anthony Philipparts up and over the final fence. Okay, 0.86 of a second. But the Belgian challenge is moving along very nicely. Jador Van Het Schack goes 7th. Anthony Philipparts this time 62.78. We've got Tristan Guisson lying 4th for Belgium, and Evelyn Putters leading into the halfway break here. This first competition of the Junior Europeans for 2021. We'll see you soon here at beautiful Vilamoura Equestrian Centre. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the scene, this beautiful Algarve region. Vilamoura, part of the Lula municipality. Here in this quite extraordinary tourist hub of Europe. It's one of the largest tourist complexes just alongside Vilamoura in the entire Europe. And the port here has grown since its humble origins to the largest marina in Portugal as well. It was inaugurated in 1974. And 1,000 vessels can be berthed in Vilamoura. The local airport is Faro. Faro, the big South Portuguese capital. In terms of allowing tourists to come to the Algarve, of course, Lisbon, the Portuguese capital, is due northwest of Vilamoura, 260 kilometers up the Atlantic coast, and it's a superb capital city. Came to Vilamoura a couple of years ago, my first visit, and Lisbon is absolutely stunning. Had a little couple of days up in the Portuguese capital, and it's magnificent. We get back underway outside of the jewels that lie in Algarve and in Portugal overall to the European Junior Championships. If you're just joining us, a very warm welcome. Just before 11 o'clock here in the Algarve, and Evelyn Putters has been the best of the morning. 61.92 is the time. Yves de Rot is out in the lead here over Tom Wachman. H.H. Fireball has got the Irish Challenge off, along with his brother Max Wachman, to a perfect start in second. And Ava Vernon looked very impressive. The British debutante for third place, as we stand, Jolie van der Noord-Heuvel, 62.7. Ida Sellen will launch us back into action. The second half of this first competition for the juniors gets restarted. This is the Dutch mare. The beautiful grey Elizabeth is at the start. This one owned by the GDS Invest Company. Applause across to Coleman. And it's a very good opening jump for the Swedish pair out over the triple bar. Ida, no stranger to the European Youth Championship. She was in Zuiderwolde in the Netherlands a couple of years ago. That was aboard Starling. Was 7th with the Swedish team. Just coming down to the tall square oxer. Blue and white off that little run at 5. But now this is the influential treble. If you're just joining us, we've had some leading nations, both Switzerland and Germany, into murky waters at the treble. It's causing quite a lot of influence. Ida Sellen down to the double combination, just hanging the mare, her legs a little bit out, but and I'm afraid that is the penalty. Just didn't quite snap the front undercarriage out of the way quick enough. Ida Sellen turns for home with that latest of mistakes, sadly. This pair went very well in the Nations Cup in Hagen. That was in mid-June. But I'm afraid Ida Sellen is going to have that one down out of the combination. 4 seconds to add under these Table C rules. Table C, Table A is the format split in World Show Jumping. Table A, we're looking for the quickest clear round, and if you are quick and have 16 penalties, that is of no avail. But in this format, if you do have a mistake, you can then put your foot to the gas a little bit, if you can, and catch up some time with the conversion. Table C, remember, C equals conversion from jump penalties to time. That is the interesting format that is our opening competition, typically at the European Championships, but at this level, all the way through to seniors as well. Ukraine is on course now. And the first of the Ukrainians, 3 it is for Ukraine to come, and I'm afraid early vertical. Timothy Tishenko hits that white vertical. This is Bueno on course. Calandro crossed to Hemingway, this 15-year-old Dutch geldings Dam Sire Lines, owned by Andriy Tishenko, number 52. Down to the treble. They jumped that beautifully. Many haven't. Andrei Tashenko had a little wobble down that double line. Coming in towards it, he kept his position very balanced, but I'm afraid they crashed through that Oxa before the home turn at 10. Well, yeah, he puts his head up in the air as if to say, it's a round of two halves, says Bueno still. Very strong at the end of the course. There were some really good moments and some devilish moments as well. So a slightly schizoid feel to the round for Timothy Tashenko, I'm afraid, completing with Bueno out on the course for Ukraine. He's going to add 20 seconds, and 92.13 is his total time with the big addition. The next to come for Portugal. Not Ecuador as stated, because we are at the European Championships after all. I don't think Ecuador would qualify. My last understanding of where Ecuador is positioned in the world on the map. But Patricia Costa Melo Madeira gets underway. Ecuador is her horse name. Apologies for that. I was having a slight panic about the mislabeling. But Ecuador, I'm afraid, is not liking this course at all. He's taken objection to that early vertical. He's a Polish gelding, so we've got a Portuguese rider on a Polish horse called Ecuador. We've got a muddle of nationalities. He's 11 years of age. He's a Colter Z across the Grand Espana, the dam sire. This one owned by Anna Maria Madeira, bred by Giovanna Franchi. Another horse looking fairly hot under the collar as Ecuador burns rubber down to that ox at 7. Now down to the double, but I'm afraid, like many, it's been a demanding first outing at the Junior Europeans, but we are at the Championships. We've got to expect a stern test from our course designer. And I think, as I've said before, he's got this test absolutely bang on, because horses like Ecuador, like a few we've seen recently, having problems but still having the confidence intact sufficiently to come home across the line. And it is going to be 16 to add for Patricia Costa e Melo Madeira for Portugal, and Ecuador, her horse, completing 16 seconds to add. 110.92 is the home time.
Number 54 of the starting list for Switzerland, Gaëtan Juliet, riding Veron de Uzze.
Well, superb to have your company at the start of this second round, as Gaëtan Joliat putting Switzerland on course. The Swiss already having a good enough morning. Noah Keller lying up in 11th position. But Geraldine Straumann got into trouble in that treble, as we have seen a couple of times. Gaëtan Joliat trying to, again, keep Switzerland in the hunt here. As we say, team nominations to come before 5 o'clock this afternoon, and Veron de Uzze has started very nicely. Young mare, she's only 8, so this is a big old ask to Junior Europeans for an 8-year-old. Valdi de Seigneur across to De Hus Stallion is the dam sire. Gaëtan at his very first European Championships. So cutting his teeth for the Swiss, one of the strongest nations in world show jumping. And he's still only 15 years of age. He'll turn 16 in early August, 3rd of August. So He's got a long future ahead of him, we hope, for Swiss show jumping. Michel Sorg, the new chef to keep for the seniors. Michel formerly alongside Alban Poudret at the helm of the CHI Genève. I'll be hoping to be having a few chats with Michel Sorg in the years to come. And he completes his first Junior Europeans. His first round is wrapped up. 4 seconds to add for Verona Huzet and Gaëtan Joliat. 75.12 was the overall time. The new starter, we go now. Romania with successive starters. This is Emma Butuca on course for Romania. Emma is riding Hector this morning. 8-year-old gelding. She owns herself, and it's a promising start here for the pair for Romania. Perfect spot they see at that Oxa. Give them important confidence, that jump out over 5 to come to this treble. I think the middle part is going to, be the 4 penalties, sadly. Just got a little bit on his head, Hector. Just a little bit dragged into the bottom of that mid part and then impossible to come out over it. And Mabutika coming off the corner to this wide line into the plank ox. So I didn't think that was the ideal line. It was quite wide, a bit too cautious for me, and then found a very deep spot into the front bar. But Hector, well, comes home. It's been an okay start for the pair for Romania. It's their first Junior Europeans. They were in Zuidewolde, but for the children on horses. And that was with Sander for Emma Butuca. Hector goes out on a slightly disconsolate looking pair, I'm afraid, for Romania. They're going to add those 16 seconds out on the track at Bernardo Costa Capral. We stay with Romania and we welcome Catalina Svetea is the next to come. Roxana Corina Svetea owns this Caldera. This mare, she's young, 9 years of age. Valdez crossed to Amati, the new starters. Certainly has got the tempo ticking here, Catalina Svetea. It's a fearless start here for the young Romanian. Her third championship. She was at the Balkans once and the Europeans again in the Netherlands. Her first European championships. First blemish, I'm afraid, coming. Out over 7. That hasn't caused much problem. They've sort of jumped through the treble if they can. And 7 is fairly straightforward on the, or hot on the heels of the treble. But I'm afraid that is the downfall for Catalina Svetea. Caldera coming down towards home. They had a good final outing in Babolna in Hungary. That was the Grand Prix for 8th position. Final preparation for the Junior Europeans. But the last goes as well. The pair for Romania, though, I think will not be too disappointed with that. Caldera looking, again, fairly strong with Catalina Svetea. They, however, complete, but it is going to be the 12 seconds to add. 88.07 is their final time. Well, Great Britain now start to dream because Ava Vernon is sitting up in a very good 3rd position. Oliver Fletcher was our early leader. He sits in 8th position as we stand with Hallo William, and Amelie Gaucho continues the British surge this morning. Amelie with the Precious One, the Master Imp gelding. Miranda Gaucho owns this. 15-year-old Amelie Gaucho is away. Trains with Michael Duffy, the superb Irish rider and trainer. Amelie Gaucho comes well through the tough early treble combination. The Precious One score card is still intact. team bronze in the Netherlands with Evito 2 years ago. It's a precious one. Just chips in a little stride, no problems at the Ox. Fourth in the Grand Prix, Youth Grand Prix in Carbourg in mid-June this pair. And that is a very good round for Amelie Gaucho.
495 in the top 15 for the
Britain's challenge is off to a good start here.
Top 15.
64.95 will have Amelie Gaucho in 11th position. So Britain with 3 in the top 11. Belgium are actually the lead nation at the moment, with Evelyn Putter's first, Tristan Guisson in 4th, and Anthony Philippart's the recent finisher for Belgium in 7th. And Ireland also in a very nice position with Tom Wachman in 2nd and Max Wachman in 5th. But it looks to be a battle at the moment between Belgium and Great Britain. Of course, team nominations to come later, so way too early to have any understanding of the team position, but likely, of course, they'll be selected for the teams, those leading contenders. Now, Mick Hornhorst is away. Germany have got an uphill struggle, having had problems for their first couple this morning. Mick Hornhorst is away. Now, Mick Hauenhorst, my wife's German, she gave me a bit of preparation this morning on the pronunciation. Oh, my word. Ireland grinds to a halt at 7. Mick Hauenhorst has to now really steel his nerves, because things are off to a troublesome start for Germany. This the Dutch gelding. He's a Corlin Matterhorn son, and he's a beautiful dapple grey. Ireland, though, coming down to the end of the course, and the last goes as well.
And also the last one. So
Mick Hornhorst has had Hauenhorst. I'm going to get shot by my wife in a minute. Has had a tough time out on the track. The last goes as well. That refusal at 7. And we'll give you that confirmed score, but to my mind, it's going to be 83.39 for the German. The time he'll have to carry into the week. The next to come, we go to the Czech Republic, and Teresa Svobodova is the next. And this is number 59. Britannia is her Czech mare. I must say it's confusing. We've got a Dutch horse called Ireland. We've got a Czech mare called Britannia. What is going on with the namings? As 11 years of age, the daughter of Beethoven is on course. This one owned by the Horse Rhythm Company. Teresa Svobodova is out on the course. This is the third Junior Europeans for Teresa Svobodova. She was in Fontainebleau and Zuiderwolde. 31st individually in the Netherlands 2 years ago. And that experience, to my eyes, paying dividends here, because it's a confident start for Teresa. And why not with Britannia? They've won their last 2 outings in preparation for Vilamoura. They won the Grand Prix, under 25 Grand Prix. That was in Olomouc at home in the Czech in late June. They also won another meter 40 class again in Olomouc, so they are in superb form. Yeah, that's a very good round.
All the way 64,
very good round indeed. 64.76 is going to have Teresa Svobodova slotting very nicely into 10th position. And I tell you, the Czech nation cannot be discounted either, because Anna Helebrantova just 1 spot ahead of Teresa Svobodova. The Czech in 9th and 10th. And that is a very good start to their European Championship campaign. But now France looking to ignite it. They need to, again, I think Germany's chances are looking, I'm afraid, very much backs against the wall for Germany. But France also has got to right the ship. Baptiste Eichner is the new starter. Black and Roll is on course. This is the rock and roll semi across the Berggraf gelding, owned by Bernard Lefort. This one, it's number 60 of the 102 to start here in Vilamoura. Black and Roll beautifully down through the treble. That's how to jump it. 1 down. I missed that one. They've had an early mistake. Baptiste Eichner down to the double combination, pops through there purposefully. Black and roll, one early mistake that escaped my eye and one late mistake as well. Otherwise, good round, Baptiste. It is his first Junior Europeans. Black and roll is off to a good enough start. This is a young gun, he's only 16 years of age. He'll turn 17 in October this year, so again, it's a big occasion.
And next is
it's going to be 8 seconds to add for Black and roll. 73.6 is the French time.
Van Rock.
The pair for Russia get off to a tough start. 5 here for Russia. It's superb to see at the Junior Europeans this year in 2021. Bogdan Vaskovsky is away. This is his first Junior Europeans, and Emilien von Rock is out on the course. So this is a young Westphalian 9-year-old only. Eldorado van der Zeshoek across to Cruising. The famous Irish stallion, Cruising, one of the great names of world breeding. Emilien von Rock is the new enough ride for Bogdan. They've been together since just late April of this year. Jumped the Grand Prix in Vilamoura on 2 occasions. That was their fact-finding mission in mid-July and early July this year. They also jumped at home in Russia. 16th it was in Ivanoskovo's Grand Prix. That was in early June. Well, that's not a bad start for the young Russian.
Para Bogdan Vaskovsky, 73 seconds, 23 hundredths for.
And yeah, he looks well happy with his lovely Emilien von Rock. And a young gelding at just 9. Looks like a very nice horse for the European debutant to enjoy the 6 days of competition. They had a warm-up day yesterday, and Tuesday through until Sunday is our superb range of days that we're delighted to bring you from Vilamoura. We stay with Eastern Europe as number 62 getting underway. Alexandra Wipichklo is on the track. Poland is a booming nation in equestrian sport. I've been lucky to go to the likes of Stregon, to Poznan for the Cavaliada Tour, and to Baborowko. Superb eventing hub and show jumping near Poznan in Poland. They send a team to the Olympics for eventing. Under Marcin Konarski, the Stregon directors eagle eye. And Caslo Z is another one, I'm afraid. Just to jam the brakes on into the triple. This is the Achilles heel. It's the graveyard of clear round hopes, I'm afraid, at 7. I thought it was to do with shadows earlier, but when we have a closer inspection, it doesn't look to be that affected by shadows, which is often the late reason for a horse refusing with this bright sun. But I still have a funny feeling I must get out there. The brakes are not quite long enough to go and have a look at the fences on foot. But Casale Z is coming for home with Alexandra Wipilkio for the Czech. Good round apart from that entry into the treble combination. And Casale jumps the last fence. 82.83 is the time with those 4 seconds that are added because of the refusal into the treble.
In 82 seconds, 83 hundredths for Casaleozzi. Agora é a vez da Finlândia, Amazona Aura Vazama Monta Folinda. Finland is next through number 63.
Antonia Vettinen was the very first to get us underway this morning. Jumped first at the start of this first competition for the Junior Europeans, and Finland comes again in the shape of Aura Vasama, the new starter. Combination 63 of the 102 to start. Aura jumped in the Shamarin Children on Horses Europeans of 2017. That was aboard Zidane. But this morning it is Folinda who started very well here for the young Finn. Folinda's last outings were at home in Jepaja in Finland early July. Powers down confidently. Great to see to the Oxa at 7. Just gallop down to that big Oxa. They had a good win in Lithuania. That was in Kunkiai in mid-May of this year. It's over 1.30 meters. They haven't got a lot of mileage at 140 level. This horse was produced by Sus Koiten, the Dutch rider, into August of last year. It's been with Aura Vasama since only February of last season. And I must say, this has been a really good round. Beautiful, well done. Aura Vasama crosses the line, 72.18.
It's clear in 72
is the time.
seconds 18 for Folinda.
And that is going to leave them just out of the top 25 as we stand. We've got Thyman Voss in 26th position. I've got the key, 71.14. They'll just go in behind him, but it's a very good effort for Aura Vasama completing there for Finland combination 63.
Temos o conjunto número 64 pela Hungria, Amazona Ana Yannick Montezordan.
The new starter, delighted to welcome for Hungary out on the course. Anna Yannick is the new starter. She is very experienced. She has got 4 Youth Europeans under her saddle. Mill Street, Shamarin, Fontainebleau and Zuiderwolde. Straight run through from 2016 into the last Youth Europeans 2 years ago. Best finish was in Mill Street, the Children on Horses champs with Costa Brava back in 2016. I was there that year. That was an extraordinary championships. Loved the standard. It was electrifying to watch from the sidelines. And great to see many of those riders now stepping up into the senior sports and going very well. Anna Yannick, 1 down admittedly, but it's a promising start here. Zordan down to the Oxa to turn for home. They were in Slovakia at Shamarin, 7th in the Nations Cup. That was in mid-May, and they carry that form beautifully into the Europeans as well. I'm sure she'll be happy enough with that round. It is 1 down, but overall, confident-looking performance.
70 seconds, 40.
And Zordan, 70.47, with those 4 seconds to be added. As Anna Yannick in 23rd position after 64 of jumps, so that is a fair start for the pair for Hungary. Alexander Lewandowski has got off to an attacking start for certain. 1 fence down out on Bernardo Costa Cabral's course for this European Championship debutant. So this is an auspicious start here. Alexander, 17 years of age. So he's got the experience in terms of an old head on young shoulders as Jasmine Van Het Halderhoff just keeps the engine running. This is a very good round here for the man for Poland. It's his first championships and you wouldn't actually know it. That is a superb performance.
58 hundredths for
just kept the motor ticking. It's going to be 4 seconds to add, and the time 65.58 for Alexander Lewandowski.
Sweden
is going to have him
Lily Landgren and
just inside the top 15, 14th position. Great efforts.
61.92.
As we say, there's a conversion coefficient of 1/2 is going to be times to these times, and that will give the best time today a score of 0, and then the differential between the leader and those that follow will be the point score that carries forward this week, both in the individual and in the team competition. So a lot at stake this morning, and Lily Landgren, well, it's comfortable enough passage through the treble, but the vertical on entry is the one down. This touch of Chile jumping. 17 years of age, Irish sport horse, out of touch, crossed a diamond chin. And Lily Landgren, her second European. She was in Fontainebleau with Escusa 3 years ago. Lily is just 16 years of age, so she's young enough for the junior Europeans, the under-18 Europeans, and the last goes as well. So mistake into the treble, 6A, and that Oxford at 12 are the 2 errors out on the course for the young Swede. She will add 8 seconds to her time, and that is going to be a total of 81.06 for Touch of Chile, the Irish gelding.
Riding Vapor.
Well, Czech hopes and hearts are pinned on the shoulder of Aliska Hasnedlova because Anna Helebrantova and Teresa Svobodova sitting up in beautiful positions, 9th and 10th at the moment. The Czech have had the dream start. Aliska is on course Vapora. Her ride is this is the Czech mare. She's 11, pulled across to Regilio, owned by Radek Ruk. It's number 67. Aliska had Neslova down over the Oxa. Horse just having a little rough ride into the treble because he was having his eyes caught left, right and centre. And Aliska Hasnedlova has done very well to come through that demanding combination without a penalty because the approach wasn't ideal. Vapora down to the double. It's a very nice horse. I love his elegant body. Yeah, but I was just thinking on the approach to that Oxa. Only question mark is just a high head carriage. And then, if they have that high head carriage, we see it with some horses and they don't get affected in terms of the bascule, the curve over the jump, but it's just a risk that they can flatten, not able to round their back because of the high head carriage, and that, I think, is the explanation at that late Ox. The mistake at 10 is the one down for Aliska Hasnedlova, so the Czech slightly suffered, but they've still had a very good morning. And 70.92 regardless is a good enough time. That's going to put Aliska Hasnedlova into 27th position. The 68th of our 102 to start is for Italy. Out on the course is Margherita Fiorelli. And this is the lovely Bluma Semeli on course. Bluma Semi, Diamond Semi, cross to Kumano. Kumano the third is the dam sire. And Diamond Semi, the famous father of this 10-year-old Self-Francais mare, owned by Marcus and Thomas Howry. Margherita Fiorelli is off to a good start here. That's another one, just to get into the deepest spot on takeoff into that Oxa, and that is the one down for Bluma Semeli. Otherwise, a very good round here for Margherita Fiorelli. It is her second European. She was in the Pony Europeans, the lovely Kaposvar in Hungary. I was there in 2017. That was a great competition, and that was Licia Single Cross, who was 10th individually at those Pony European Championships. Junior debut for Margherita Fiorelli is off to an okay start. Just that late mistake. And 4 seconds it will be to add for Blumasemi Margherita Fiorelli's time, 70.46. Well, now, thinking of Kaposvar and Hungary, out on the course is Petra Takash for the Hungarians. This is combination number 69. Jasper Takash's owns this Connor pass. 11 years of age, the Holstein stallion. He's a Katoki the second, Lance the second son. The stallion getting underway. We have 7 more to come before the final interval of this first competition at the 2021 Junior Europeans. And if you are just coming to your screen wherever you're watching worldwide, my name Ed Holloway, and it's a real pleasure to bring you the action. Petra Takash, Connor pass. Well, a bit of a rocky start for the young pair for Hungary. Saw a very good stride, committed into that double. This pair have had some very good recent experience coming into the Europeans. They were at the World Cup in Hungary at Pobolna. That was in mid-June. 21st place was a great effort. Petra's first time at the Europeans. Connor pass comes home. And we get an idea of the difficulties of the course, having been 21st in the World Cup. They regardless have 4 down, 16 it is to add for the Holsteiner stallion. Connor pass has 16 seconds in this table C conversion. That's the crucial point about this opening round. The final time for Petra Takash with that 16-second addition is 99.3.
Italy is next through number 70 with Vittoria Righi and a time to beat of 61.92.
Vittoria Righi is our new starter. Combination number 70. Vittoria rode sushi in the Shamrin Children on Horses Europeans in Slovakia in 2017. And just to remind you of the current leaderboard, it is unchanged as of the last hour or so. Evelyn Putter's out in front. Great round for the young rider for Belgium. Youth de Rot, 61.92.7 of a second, clear of Tom Wachman. The Wachman boys were exceptionally good this morning. Got my eagle eyes on them, both of them. HH Fireball, both team and individual. Honours looking more than likely. And Ava Vernon is in the individual bronze for Britain. That's Jolie Fleur van der Noord-Hervel. Are 1, 2, 3. Only separated by 3/4 of a second. The individual podium as we stand. Vittoria Righi coming home.
Into 9th place.
And the nicely named The Dude getting his European champs up and running. And that is a very good round indeed for the Carigold Argentinas gelding. The Dude has slotted coolly into 9th position. Vittoria Righi is the best of the Italian contingent this morning. Oliver Fletcher for Britain, he came early. That was a great round with Hallo William just 1 ahead of her in 8th position. Tony Philipparts, Anthony Philipparts in 7th with Jador van Het Schek. And I tell you, the Pole Iga Biegalska was superb. Up in 5th position with Dora Vella. As we stand, we stay with an Eastern European flavour because Daria Kukushkina is on course for Russia. Valentina Kukushkina owns this Traffic. He's an Estonian gelding. He's a 14-year-old Terra offspring. This horse was bred by the Estonian show jumper Gunnar Klettenberg. Traffic has already had a couple of early rails down out on the course. Traffic just slightly wavering on the line down to that double. It's so important if you're coming to a combination just to keep the forward line, otherwise things can uncouple nastily in my experience. And Daria, her second European, she was in Zuidewolde as well in the Netherlands. That was in 2019 with Casanova. Traffic, okay, couple of rails down for the young Russian.
80 seconds, 19,900 for Traffic, and
Daria
80
coming
segundos,
across the
99
finish line.
centésimos para
She's
uma
impressive
dúvida.
because
Passamos
only
para a
15 years of
Bélgica,
age.
Aurélia Guisson,
She'll turn
que
16
monta
in
no
October, so
limite
this is a
da
big,
Good
big
Hope
ask for Daria Kukushina coming home with the 8 seconds to add. And that does mean a final time for Traffic of 80.99 for the Estonian gelding, the produce of Gunnar Klettenberg. Gunnar's a really good rider. I enjoyed watching him over the last few years in world show jumping. Now Belgium really have got to get a good round here, because if they can, their team is going to be in beautiful standing. As we've said a few times, the nominations coming this afternoon, but with Evelyn Putters leading, Tristan Guisson in 4th and Anthony Philipparts in 7th, Belgium have got the door open here for a memorable Europeans, and Aurélia Guisson, Tristan's sister, is on course, and this is No Limit Van Het Likitehov Z. This is absolute blue ribbon breeding. Nabab de Rev crossed to Berlin. As we said, Jerez de la Frontera's World Games not far down the Atlantic coast from our base here in Vilamoura, and that was the venue that Philippe Lejeune took Nabab de Rev into team bronze for Belgium. That was 19 years ago in 2002, and with that in mind, Belgium are going into a brilliant position, because Evelyn Putters leading, Tristan Guisson 4th now, Aurélia Guisson is in 8th, and Tony Philipparts up in between the Guisson offspring in 7th. It is a super position that Belgium is opening up here in Vilamoura. The next to come, we have 3 to come before the last interval, and Norway's Sindre Svepstad is out on the course. Hans Eirik Svepstad owns this. Elvis de Putter across to Elmshorn, Dutch gelding. It is Hunter Duas out on the course, 9 years of age. Sindre Svepstad has made a very polished start to her European campaign. Sindre making light work through the combination. His first European Championships, and it's a steady start. He's just decided here, understandably, not to go for broke against the clock. It's a demanding first round, because if you don't push the time, you can't really get individual medals unless the rounds to come are ultra demanding. But equally, you can well understand the policy. Just bank a clear round. Don't have anything totally unstick your big week. And Hunter Duas has a late mistake. Vertical going at 11. Sindre Svepstad, though, gets his Europeans off to a good start, his very first as well. It is going to be just that late 4 to add for the Dutch gelding. Elvis de Putter's son, 82.86 the time. Is going to put Sindre Svepstad down the order, quite well down actually. It's going to be something like 56th, 57th place, because of the steadiness for the young Norwegian. Alice Lane is the penultimate starter of this, our 3rd of our sessions. First competition of the Junior Europeans for 2021 here in Vilamoura. And if you're joining us, welcome. Battle is brewing very nicely. It's early doors, but already we've had some real standout performances, staking both team and individual claims to the titles. Alice Lane is on course here for France. This is Emerald Sit jumping. This is the, again, Nabab de Rev Corlin gelding. Belgian bred, understandably, owned by Bruno Len, and this is number 74. Alice Lane, this is a fearless round she is assembling here. 61.92 is the time of Evelyn Putters, and super round 62.39. Alice Lane lifts her hand up understandably because that is the first impact for a good hour and a half or so here in Vilamoura on our leaderboard. Alice Lane has got France up into second place. French fortunes had to change. And then Nabab Derev Gelding is up into second. Within about 0.4 of a second of Evelyn Putters and Tom Wachman, Eva Verne and Tristan Guisson all bumped down a position. Super round that is, and will sit one to watch over the next 5 days of competition. Now this is the last of the session. Arazanta Berasategui Garo is on the course for Spain. This is Eduardo Berasategui Salazar's Barreau de Vin. 10 years of age, this Celle Francais mare, awkward landing over the big oxer at 6. Arata back into the saddle quickly. Not an ideal preparation, far from it. Into the treble. But I tell you, this is a very good recovery. That was a heart-stopping moment. Mum and Dad must have been having kittens on the sidelines. That was awkward. But Barreau de Vin, despite, the demolition job of the oxer, has recovered superbly, and the time isn't slow either. Come on now, Arantxa Berasategui Garo to anchor this fighting performance. Coming down to the final fence, jumps it well, I must say. That is a great round to end the session because of the early problems. Arantxa Berasategui Garo, well done. This young Spaniard has really fought home impressively to take us into our final break of the opening competition.
Belgium with Tristan Guisson.
Well, we are certainly ready, and hope you are enjoying the action
classificados
wherever you're
Até
watching.
o momento.
It's
Temos
brilliant to
Evelyn
bring you this
Putos,
first day
Bélgica,
of the
França,
2021
com a
FEI
Alice
European
Lynn,
Youth Jumping Championships.
Watchman.
We're here in
pela
the stunning
Irlanda,
region of
Great
Algarve,
Britain,
deep
ou
south of
Grã-Bretanha,
Portugal.
com a Eva
And
Vernon
Vilamoura, well,
e
it's a
no
busy
quinto lugar da
equestrian centre
classificação
as ever.
provisória da
It
primeira
will run something like
classificativa
17 weeks of international
do
competition
Campeonato
this
da
year
Europa
alone.
Juventude
The Vilamoura season
de
paying,
Júniores. Temos Tristan
well,
Guisson.
very, very grateful to the favourable weather conditions down here between the end of January
So
and the
set to restart our last part
last
with the
competitions, which
last
are in
part of
November here.
this
So it's a
first
long
competition of
season.
juniors with
Antonio Moura and his
27
team
left.
offer the world show jumping
Leading
circuit as a
the
safe
time
sunshine
of
haven,
61 seconds 92 hundredths.
covering 11 months of the
Belgium,
year. So it's a
Qualifiers.
brilliant venue to enjoy. And it's great to have you all
And the
here
first
for the
combination
Junior
after
European
our last
Championships. Of
break
course,
is
young riders
from
and children
Spain.
also
Binomio por
part of the
Espanha,
trio
binomio à parte,
of age categories that we
Jinete
welcome to
Emílio
southern Portugal.
Garcia Torres.
The position as we stand, we have the last of our quarters to bring you, but it's been a very exciting first few hours of the championships, and Evelyn Putters is out in pole position. Youth de Rot holding off the challenge of Alice Lane, coming late in the third session. That's the only impact of recent times on our leaderboard. Emerald sit second. 0.4 of a second, the advantage that Evelyn Putters holds over the entire junior field, and Tom Vachman came early and really caught my eye with HH Fireball. Both Tom and Max in the top six. Max Vachman in sixth position, Brooklyn de Hoos, Ava Vernon fourth, and Tristan Guisson, Belgium, are really motoring. They've got 4 out of the top 9 for Belgium, with the team nominations to come just before 5 o'clock this afternoon. We get back underway with Spain, and Emilio Garcia Torres Solano restarts action. Apart is this famous 16-year-old Qualibet hero across the Papillon Rouge gelding. This is a very experienced horse, Emilio Garcia Torres Solano. But out of the combination, sadly, is the mistake. Apart comes out over the Oxer at 10. Just that one early blemish for the restarters here for Spain. And Emilio hacks down to the final fence with serious confidence. It is his fourth Youth European and a very good 11th. This pair were in Zuidewolde 2 years ago. That was 11th position with the team for Spain in 5th place. So they've got the mileage to go the distance this week. Just that one mistake for Emilio Garcia Torres Solano just completing. Now this is a very good pair here out on the course for Denmark, and Josephine Christian Jacobsen gets underway. This is the 18-year-old old gun Dakar jumping Utrolo Z cross to Darko. Anthony Philippart's already completed, and his father Ludo rode Darko in the Olympics. That was a superb 7th individually in the Barcelona Games of '92 with Ludo Philippart. So history here. This horse was bred at the Philippart's base in Dorpheide, locally to Centaur Park. Opglebeek it is in the heart of Belgium. Dakar has made a good enough start here. Josephine turning down towards the Oxer before the home turn. That's a good turn as well. And this is a superb effort here.
And there's a clear 62 seconds, 1200.
18 years of age.
Second
And
place,
only 0.2 of a second into individual silver. And well done. That is Josephine Christian Jacobsen. Broad smile.
Da classificação provisória.
62.12. And it is precisely
for Great Britain,
0.2 of a second in behind Evelyn Putters. So all change again. Alice Lane's time in the silver medal position is short-lived as Emerald Sit dropping into third position. Now Lille Bremner is on course. Lille Bremner with Memphis van der Vaart for Great Britain. The wonderful comedian, impressionist Rory Bremner. Lila's father. This is a nice start for the young Brits as they try and emulate the likes of Ava Vernon up in 5th position. Oliver Fletcher sits in 11th place for Britain as we stand here. I better be careful how I commentate or I'll have Rory Bremner all over my pronunciation. And Memphis van der Vaart's turning. Deep spot for Lila down into that vertical. But it stayed, and now Memphis van der Vaart is thinking towards home. 3 fences remaining. Lila Bremner turns for home. It's going to be down on the leading time for Belgium, but it's a very solid start here for the young Brit coming over the final fence.
A clear 67,
her second European. She was in Stregon, the ponies. As with Lapis Lazuli back in 2019 for Team Silver. And Memphis van der Vaart completing. Good round for Lila Bremner. And it is going to be 67.95 the final time. Will put her currently into 23rd position. Just in behind Jennifer Hofstadter and CSIO Bell, the pair for Liechtenstein. The big grey is on course. Linus Hanselmann in the saddle. This, the Corner of Blensky night and day mare. 2 superb stallions on either side of this. Swiss mare's pedigree. Walk for Me, Kizzy CH is out on the course. The CH is the abbreviation that this horse was bred in the land of mountains. Linus Hanselmann. Nicely down over that Oxa at 7. And Switzerland, what a hub of horse sport it is, as well as for the likes of Davos and Wengen for skiing. Because CHI Genève, the brilliant December fixture, cancelled last year, but the team will be back in action this year for certain. Barring something unforeseen, of course, and Linus Hanselmann delivers a very good clear, 2.91 seconds out of the time. I'll go to commentate in Switzerland twice more this year because we have what's the Rural Riders Cup? It's the European Eventing Cup. That is in early September near Lausanne. And then can't wait to bring you the action from the European Championships in Eventing. That is at the end of September. Alongside Alban Poudre, one of the bosses of Geneva. And my wife, Helena Holloway, will be broadcasting in German. That's going to be exciting to come in September. I'll be live there on the stadium microphone. So now we welcome Francisco Roman Cantillana is the new starter for Spain. This number 80. Francisco riding Rose Garden. This is the beautiful Self-Francais, 16-year-old Helios de la Cour, the second cross to Genet de Bretagne mare. It's a good start for Francisco as he runs down, brave into the treble. Pays it no respect, just turns on a sixpence into that most demanding line on the course of Bernardo Costa Cabral. Sadly, one down mid part of the course for Rose Garden, but they are still really motoring. It's a gutsy start here for the Spaniard as he corners into the final line. Rose Garden down to the final fence. Yeah, got in a little bit deep on takeoff to that wide white Oxa. Back bar also tumbles. It will be 8 seconds to add for Francisco Roman Cantillana, just completing. 70.71 is the final time here in Vilamoura.
2 segundos por 2 derrubos. And Romani is next through Octavia Ilesoi and Amaretto Arsi.
It is simply impressive that Romania has brought 5 combinations to the Junior Europeans for 2021, and this, Octavia Ilesoi, is out on the course for Romania. She is no stranger to European Championships. This is her 4th Youth European. She was in Zuiderwolde, Fontainebleau and in Chamorin. And her Balkan Championship record is also immaculate. She won in Zagreb in Croatia the Balkan Children on Horses title in 2018 with Charlotte. And Amaretto RC is away for Octavia Ilesoi for Romania this morning. This pair tuned up for the Europeans here in Vilamoura. Fact-finding mission was the Grand Prix of mid-July. That was over 1.45 meters, so more than ample preparation. Their last win came in Bulgaria at Zahitsna. That was in early September of last season. The big grey centred out across to Toulon on either side. Hitting another one, I'm afraid, on the home run here.
78.70 for
78.70 is the time.
78 segundos, 70
Centred out this horse's sire. Goes back to Cento. Cento is billed as the best Holstein jumper of all time. One Olympic team gold, had Grand Prix wins in Aachen and Spruce Meadows. And a dam line of Centennial includes Landerdale, whose offspring have won in excess of 5 million. So it comes from a serious sire side, and Toulon as well. The dam sire is a very strong name of world breeding. So away from bloodlines, forgive me if I wander, but it's always interesting to see where these horses have come from. The genetics of show jumping, well, is examined across the world, and Belgium very much at the head of affairs in world breeding over the last 5-10 years. Now we welcome, as we think to Belgium, Bart J. Junior van der Kasteel is on. Of course, this is Mac Jack Courtier, the new starter. This is a superbly bred, again, video in Doctrocos to Cartier van der Heffink. 9-year-old only. Bart J is off to a convincing start here in Vilamoura as he gets a little bit deep into the combination, but Mac J. Courtier just bouncing on the sand, very fleet-footed through the treble. It wasn't in a perfect entry point. They recovered very well here. And at the moment, Belgium are doing the unthinkable here. Evelyn Putters first, Tristan Guisson 6th, Anthony Philippart's 9th, Aurelia Guisson in 10th place, and Mac Jack Courtier is bringing Bart J. Junior van der Kasteel home with another. Oh, look at the round. The last, I think, has gone. Yes, that is so unfortunate, because it was 61.15 the time. It was the quickest so far. Belgium, well, barring that final fence, we're going to move into an unthinkable position. Regardless, 65.15 has got Bart Jr. into 19th position. But that was really unlucky, last fence,
and the next is
denying them
Germany,
individual gold medal position. Now Germany have got to grit their teeth, because Lasse Nolting is a superb junior jockey. They've had a horrific morning by their standards, to be fair. Lazio is on the course. Lancer the second, cross to Cello the first, owned by the Orbo family. This is the 12-year-old. No, maths has gone out the window. 13-year-old, we'll get there. Lazio. Lasse Nolting down through the treble on this beautiful big jumper. I can't quite be claiming to be part of the generation born with calculators either. So there is no excuse for poor maths. Lazio. Just that one early mistake for Lasse Nolting. His very first junior Europeans or Europeans of any nature has started pretty well here. They come home. Mikel Orbo, who rode this horse up into June of 2019. Lasse Nolting's been in the saddle only since April of this year. They've jumped 3 Grand Prix on their road to Vilamoura, Hagen, Munich, and also last time in Pinneberg up in the north of Germany. That was 6th place in Pinneberg. They were also part of the Nations Cup team for Germany in Hagen. Team bronze it was. So Lasse Nolting gets his European campaign, his very first Europeans off to a good start. 73.21. The time. Now we welcome the individual for Turkey. Just the one out of the 27 nations for Turkey as Burak Alparslan is away. Burak is aboard Haki Hakan Alparslan's Kelebia Z. 11 years of age, this mare. I'll tell you when my maths is bad. I'm confident on that one. Burak Alparslan. Good start, 1 down is no shame. First half of the course proving the more demanding of the first round halves. Kelebia through the double. It's quite quick here for Burak. It's now turning off the final home turn. Just the one early rail. The last goes again.
So
like that for
30
Barche Junior van der Kasteel a moment ago. And 8 it is going to be to add for Kelebia Z. Burak Alparslan, he is at his 3rd European Championships, was in Fontainebleau in 2018 and in Zuidewolde 2 years ago, the last running of the Europeans with the coronavirus problems, and the Balkan Junior Champs on 2 occasions as well, in Istanbul at home in Turkey, again in 2019, and he's the individual champion from the Balkan Juniors. That was again with Kelebia 2 years ago, so one to watch into the week. Now, Ebba Danielsson is on the early part of the course. This is number 85 of the 102 to start. The young Swede is the last for Sweden to get out of the start at this first junior competition this week. Tigavoli Z has started very fleet-footed. Gets the elbows working out over that oxer. A long way off out of the triple. But this Swede has started in really positive fashion. Down to the double. Finds a deeper spot in than probably anticipated, but it is all intact here. Ebba Danielsson angles across that oxer. This is a very confident round here. 61.92 is the time that leads the way here in Vilamoura, and it's not a million miles away. Jumps the last again from a deep enough spot, but Tigavoli Z comes home just under 4 seconds down on the leading time, and 17th position.
Please, we have
good round for Ebba Danielsson and
moment.
Tigavoli Z.
Today in Belgium is a national mourning day to think to all the victims of the violent flooding of last week. At 12 today, everything will be still in all Belgium for 1 minute as a mark of respect for every people and animal impact by this disaster. We also think to the other neighbor countries also hit by this tragedy, such as Germany, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and Austria. So please stand up for 1 minute of silence. Thank you. Our thoughts are with all the families that lost.
Yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and a speech well delivered here in Vilamoura, and our hearts, of course, go to all of the families affected by the horrendous flooding. It's been devastating to see the news over the last 10 days. Certainly, we all must think collectively towards the environment. There's a low pressure trapped in between two high pressure systems that are caused, but of course, global warming very much one of the factors. We must take collective responsibility for the state of our planet.
And
as we go forward in this critical time.
let's restart with Ireland.
Back to the action we go.
With the time to beat of 61.
After the good round for Ebba Danielsson just completing.
Riding AHG White Rock Cruise Down.
And this is going to be the restart in just a moment. Not the lady in your picture, because Frances Derwent is due to be the next to start for Ireland, number 86. That's Frances in the background on the lovely Zangasodamare Tigavoli Z will be Tigavoli Z, the ride of Ebba Danielsson. AHG White Rock Cruise Down was due to be the next to come. I think the lady for Poland just preparing, and yes, it is going to be Frances Derwent who gets us back underway. Frances had a superb team gold in the Pony Europeans in Stregon. That was aboard Colban Mistress back 2 years ago. And Frances also rode in the Bishop Burton Pony Europeans of 2018. Again, the same pony, Colban Mistress, for 4th with the Irish team. He makes his debut. Eventually we'll get to the horse for you. Apologies. This is our new starter. Down to the triple bar. AHG White Rock Cruise Down is out on the course for Frances Derwent. Ireland having a very good start to their Junior Europeans. That's Tom Vachman up in 4th position with HH Fireball. And Max Vachman in 7th with Brooklyn de Hoos. Both up nicely in the top 10. Frances Derwent cuts the corner. Attacking, aggressive line into the triple. Pays dividends. Frances Derwent sees a great stride out of the deep corner into the final line, and this is a very good round. Oh, shame. Like the fate of the young man for Belgium, Bart J. Junior van der Kasteel a moment ago. Frances Derwent's time was quick enough to take over the lead of Evelyn Putters, but I'm afraid the final fence goes for the 4 penalties. It's still 64-78 with the addition, and Frances Derwent slips out of the gold medal position. Still very cool response from the Irish horseman. Frances Derwent, AHG White Rock Cruise Down, completing in 15th position currently. Unlucky, latest of rails.
44,73 é FEI que o remova, pois está a perturbar a saída de outros carros. Obrigado. And doing the course we have from Poland, Daria Pietzak riding Monsoon, number 87.
This is the tall figure of Monsun out on the course with the diminutive figure. Daria Pietzak is in the saddle here for Poland, and Daria rode this horse in the Dutch Europeans. That was children on horses, however. The age category below the juniors, that was in 2019 in Zuiderwolde. They were very well placed as well. 16th individually. So Daria Pietzak is out on the course. Monsun has started beautifully. Their recent form has been very good as well. They jumped a double clear the Nations Cup in Hagen mid-June of this year. They jumped again a double clear in Chamorin, one time only, for 4th place. with the Polish junior team and Slovakia. And Monson has jumped an absolutely super round. Daria Pietchak comes home. Well done to Daria. That is a beautiful clear. And their superb form continues.
Sem faltas 66 segundos,
Really good to see.
80 centésimos para a Amazona Polaca. Denmark
Because Daria is incredibly only 14 years of age. That is a big, big finisher, 14. She'll turn 15 in September this year, so that is an awesome performance. And Daria Pietchak will go on to 66.8 as the time and leaves her in 27th position, right in touch with 5 days remaining. Now we come to Denmark, number 88, and Gustav Christian Jakobsen is away sharply. Chakorina is this superb 15-year-old mare. She's a daughter of Chaco Blue, crossed to Larenko as they arch out over the big Oxa, which is the gateway to this ultra-demanding treble. Gustav beautifully down the big line, the 4 fences between 6A and 7. Chakorina is in a very good mode here. And of course, we can't wait for next year's World Championships, 4 disciplines: show jumping, dressage, para dressage and vaulting. The Echo World Championships in Herning is hot on the agenda. And Chakorina for the Danes comes home. Beautiful clear for the Westphalian mare. Gustav Christian Jakobsen, he's at his 4th European Championships and he's got form as well. He was 6th individually at the Children on Horses in Shamorin in Slovakia in 2017, so he knows how to really rattle and compete with the big guns at the Youth Europeans. Good clear round it is for him. And that is going to be 66.56, is going to leave him on pretty much, exactly the same time as Ingmar Hammerström, the pair for Scandinavia, tied for 25th position. The new starter, Thibaut Keller, lights the touch paper. This is Badaboom 1 out on the course. This Francais mare, she's a 10-year-old Quento Sange, crossed to Mylord Carthago, the dam sire. Thibaut Keller starting at number 89, and this is the last chance for the Swiss. They haven't had a good morning by their very high standards, so they need a bit of individual pride here from Thibaut Keller. Best for the Swiss so far is Linus Hanselmann, sitting up in 16th position. Badaboom 1 soars out over the white plank Oxa. 3 from home. Thibaut Keller is going to anchor the Swiss performance well, and it's a very nice clear to get his European Championships underway in fine style.
Badaboom 1 and Thibaut Keller.
It's going to be about 6 seconds down on Evelyn Putters' leading time, and a good job just completed.
Temos em pista Mikey Schwarzand, monta Twister de La Poma.
Well, Dutch show jumping is always one of the powerful nations of the world scene. And the Dutch in great form. Sanne Thijssen recently winning the big 5-star Grand Prix in Rotterdam. And Mel Tyson will come in the Young Riders this afternoon. But Maaike Swartens is out on the course for the Dutch. And this is Twister de la Pomme. Superbly bred. He's a Darko for pleasure stallion, owned by Robin Swartens. It's number 90. And Maaike makes her championship debut here in Vilamoura. First Europeans. And it's another young gun. She's 17 years of age. Twisted La Pomme is off to a great start here. Just opening up the gallop down towards, angling across the Oxa. This pair fourth in Vid and over 1.40 m this year already, and 65.39 is a very good European Championship debut for Mika Svartens.
Ukraine number 91.
65.39 is going to have her in 22nd position, but bear in mind we have now jumped 90, so very much still part of the running.
From Evelyn Peters, Belgium.
Ilya Tishchenko is on the course, and Ilya riding Forzat this morning. Just getting underway, and this is the lovely gelding. He's a 13-year-old. Ilya with championship experience. He was in Chamorin 2017 with Iglesias PKZ. That was his debut. The Ukrainian gets underway very nicely, and a good ride through the combination. This pair had a very good win in Chamorin in Slovakia early April of this season. They got together in August of 2019. Chekachenko was their debut international competition up on the North Polish Baltic coastline. It's a shame. That plank has not caused much bother. Bizarrely, because it's really demanding as we've gone on. It caused problems early on, but latterly it's been jumping very well. But that is the one scalp of the course designer, Bernardo Costa-Cabral, off the Ukrainian card, I'm afraid. It is a late fall for Ilya Tishchenko, after a very solid round with Forzat completing there for Ukraine. It's combination number 91. The time is 67.97. Now we come to Portugal, and this is the last of the home rolls of the dice for the Portuguese as Madalena Aloy gets away. This the Belgian mare, she's a superbly bred Milo Carthago crossed to Fiji du Fleury, 10 years of age this time, owned by Magdalena Aloy herself and Correa dos Santos. And this is number 92 to start, and they started very well here. Turning down to the treble. It's a very confident passage. Okay, one early rail, but Madalena Aloy is attacking this course. Yeah, Forestel, this Belgian mare, is very sharp front-footed through the double. Not quite so sharp there, sadly. Her second rail. But it's a good performance from Madalena Aloy. I love the style she's got after this course. She looks very much cool as a cucumber under the pressure of the Junior European. She's not flustered at all, and it's a couple of rails down, but looks well happy with her start here. 70.55 seconds is the Portuguese time. Lorenzo Corredu is our new starter. This man is very talented. He lifted the Children on Horses European champs in Slovakia at Chamorin. European champion in 2017. That was aboard Touche d'Arrogance. Team bronze the year before in Mill Street, again at the Children's on Horses level in 2016. But this afternoon is the lovely de Montsec Vidiel Nimero cross to Grandeur. And Lorenzo Corradu is making absolutely no mistake out there. This is a polished performance as we would expect. Quite deep into that oxer, but he just kept moving nearly into trouble off the turn into the home line. He really had to work hard. But it's a very good start for Lorenzo Corrado. He fights for home. And 65.22 is the Italian time. It's going to put him just out of the top 20 into 22nd position, but in touch. And remember that there is that differential which will be applied after the coefficient of a half is times by these times to convert them into points, so he won't be far away from Evelyn Putters, who will have a score of 0 as the leader if things stay as they are. Into the last 10 we go. But now Claudia Moore is on course for Great Britain. Late start and last of the British contingent to get underway. The moorings is Hard Esther. This is a Dutch mare, beautifully bred Canan Cardento. Claudia Moore is off to a superb start. This mare is very adjustable, came in quite deep into the treble, but just skipped her way out of trouble. Claudia's got a very good record. Her third European, she had an individual bronze, team gold in Bishop Burton. Home Pony Europeans of 2018. Last time in Stregom. 6th individually, team silver. That was with Orlando van der Rustserver. So this lady knows exactly what the championship game is all about. And Hard Esther comes down across the final line. It's a super round for Claudia Moore. And the British Challenge is gathering muster. 66.16 is the British time. Claudia Moore keeps herself right in the individual battle into 26th position. We've got Amelie Gaucho, 19th. Oliver Fletcher, I'll get there, apologies. Crikey, the excitement is frying my mind. Oliver Fletcher is in 11th. And Ava Vernon, the best of the Brits so far, in 5th position. So battle on for team places. And well done to Claudia Moore. Super round just completed. Number 95, we welcome. This is a very good rider here for the Danes. Nuno Wildfang Linda is out on the course. This is the Douglas Manhattan mare. The Dutch bred, beautiful. Bay is out on the course and Juvetto has started precisely here. Nuno Wildfang Linda down through the demanding treble without a bead of sweat on her brow. This lady's got a very good record, 11th individually. The Europeans for the children on horses in Fontainebleau, 2018 aboard Bentley N. Juvetto has got now 2 down, sadly, on the Danish card. And this pair have had some good late form. They were second in Chamarin. That's over 1.35 m in early May. Competed quite lightly, the Dutch mare, on the road to the Europeans. But not quite the round that I anticipated for Nuno Wildfang Linda. It's 2 down. Juvetto's time, 73.92. It's going to have them quite a long way down the pecking list, but lovely to see her reaction. The next to come. Balázs Toth is just lining up. Rolfs Royce, the nicely named bay at the start. Balázs Toth makes a very smooth start. It is crucial, whatever equestrian discipline you're competing in, to get things started well. Otherwise, it's demanding to go forward from a dodgy start. And Rolfs Royce just pricks his ears down through the treble. Powerfully through that. That was a very smooth hit Balázs Toth turning into this. Interesting stride into the vertical at 8. He gets away with it and then smoothly through the double combination. That's a shame because I've liked what he's done. He's just kept up a lovely strong rhythm. And Rolls-Royce, I'm afraid, has the 3 fences down out on Bernardo Costa Cabral's first round of the Junior Europeans. He's going to have to add 12 seconds, sadly. It's a costly trio of mistakes, and 82.64 is Balázs Toth's final time.
E agora é a vez do Mónaco. Temos Íñigo Lopes de la Ossa, monta da Moro. Anhof Z, número 97 da ordem de entrada.
Well, this also started jumping on absolute springs as away goes the pair, last pair for Monaco. The Principality of Monaco's Íñigo Lopes de la Ossa Franco is out on the course. This is the Moor Van Het Hanne Viehoff Z jumping. Íñigo has made a very determined, deliberate start here at his very first European Championships, and this is a powerful start. Overall impression here is very solid. Again, he's just kept the rhythm consistent and the engine ticking as he turns now to this monster Oxa. Ah, shame. Just before the turn for home. Well, it's been a very good round to watch. And I'm mighty impressed that Íñigo Lopes de la Ossa Franco comes across the line. The Diamond de Semi mare, Bentley the Dam Sire, has just that late mistake. But a very promising start for Íñigo. 71.08 is the final time, with the 4 seconds to be added with the Table C format. That is combination number 97, just completing. Well, back end of the opening competition for the 2021 Junior European Championships here in Vilamoura. And Evelyn Putters, good 2 hours or so ago, was dazzling. Jutta de Rot leading the way for Belgium. 61.92, 0.2 of a second, precisely clear of that very good round for Denmark. Josephine Christian Jacobsen second with the oldest horse of the day, 18 years of age, Dakar, lies second for Denmark. And Alice Lane was impressive for third with the lovely Belgian Elmrod Sit. 62.39 is our current podium. But now Russia is away. Alexandra Chavinsky gets Ksenia jumping. 11 years of age, down right into the guts of the takeoff point to the Oxa. At 5, that would have been a heart-stopping moment. And yeah, I'm afraid the early indications are that the Russian round is going the wrong way here. Alexander is just going to try and keep things in order. It's a real shame. I think it's just a little bit overawed by the occasion. But a very good little horseman here, because I can tell you, this man is a raw talent. He's only had 1 week of competition before coming to these juniors, and that was here in Vilamoura, the start of this month. So this is a big, big occasion for Alexander. And I can tell you, he is only 14 years of age, so we have respect. Alexander Chavinsky turns back, Ksenia to the double combination. And I'm afraid it's just a bridge too far this morning. It's a brave effort. just wish they hadn't got that deep spot at the Oxer at 5, because that rather just uncoupled them. That was the start of the problems after a really good start. He'll certainly be back on the international stage. And he'll have that, as we explained earlier, the worst score of this first round, and then plus 20 penalties if you are eliminated or you retire. But from one inexperienced man for Russia to one seriously good experienced campaigner here for Ukraine, a lady I've got to know well over the last 5-6 years internationally, Anastasia Bondaryeva, is out on the course for Ukraine. Anastasia riding this lovely quick-born, he's a 10-year-old Quintenda Cardino gelding. I met Anastasia, that was 5 years ago in Mill Street at the Championships. She was a tiny dot, but she's now becoming a very elegant, tall horsewoman. She was 7th individually that year with Tigrano Mill Street, 7th individually. Her third juniors after Fontainebleau and Zuidewolde in 2018-2019. And Quickborn is off to a very sharp start here and living up to his name as well. This is a shame. One down for Anastasia Bondaryeva as they turn down the final line. And the last goes as well, sadly.
So the last Oxer, so it is
8 seconds
seconds
that Anastasia Bondaryeva has to add to her account. Quickborn looks so good. Had a very good win in Oliver. That was in November of last year. Their last victory as a pair. Comebacks from the Grand Prix in Knokke. That was in late June of this year. But 8 seconds it is to add for Anastasia Bondaryeva, just completing. 74.12 is the total time with the addition for the Ukraine. 3 more to come, ladies and gentlemen, and Luna Garro is the late starter. Last chance for France out on the course. Carbone de Sian. It's a young stallion. He's only 9. Diamond de Semi crossed to Carentano Z. This horse co-owned by Natalie and Gwenelle Garro. Luna Garro is number 100 to get underway, and it's a sharp start here for the young French rider. Luna Garro has made a brave cutback turn to the treble. Just a deeper spot than ideal into the combination, but the French card is intact, and another debutant at the Junior Europeans. (18 years of age), as she angles back again. Another bold line here. To beat, she won't do that, but it's a very solid late bid from France. But that final Oxer goes again. It's causing problems. We've had several that would have gone either into the gold medal position or a very good finish that have had that final fence down, and Luna Garro has it, sadly, because the time was going to be good enough for 27th position. That is how tight it is at the top here. I mean, just to look at the top 10, I mean, it is so tight. 61.92 the leading time. 10th position, Aurélia Guisson. 63.12. It's only literally a second and a quarter that covers the top 10. So it's going to be jam-packed once the mathematicians have been hard at work to decide the way this competition will unfold over the week ahead with the conversion that will happen tonight. Last chance now for Germany. Alia Knack is on course, and this is Campari, the 9th, owned by Carl Schmitz. Casero the first, crossed to Collander. Bred this one by Andreas Fischer. And Alia Knack has started really well here. Back end of the first competition for the Junior Europeans. Her second European. She was brilliant in Chamorin. Children on horses. That was 4th place with this lovely Campari. And Alia Knack, oh shame. I was thinking German Fortunes were going to reverse. And then the back bar, 3 from home, I'm afraid, goes. And that's a frustrating late fourth for Alia Knack.
68-22 for
68-22 is the final time.
segundos,
She's done a
22
great
centésimos.
first
In the
7/8 of the
combination
course,
and
and
the
then
last
problems
chance
just
to beat the
turning
time
for
of
home.
61.92 from Evelyn Puters. We have Denmark, Josephine Morup riding the simil edition.
And then there was one at the end of this marathon. Junior European first competition, and we welcome Denmark having a very good competition. Josephine Christian Jacobsen, Dakar, oldest horse, is up in individual silver as we stand. And now Josephine Sandgaard Morup is going to try and again put Denmark into a good position and further strengthen that great round from Josephine. I meant Josephine Christian Jacobsen in the silver. Josephine Sandgaard Morup is out on the track, and December edition has started very well. 14 years of age. He's a Diamond de Semi crossed exorbitant, the full blood dam sire, so has got the blood and the run, the gallop required here to come home with a competitive time, we hope, and it's a good start. No fireworks here from Josephine Sandgaard Morup. She's just electing to put a safe nigh on insurance clear round in her pocket into the week ahead. Beautifully through the double. Assembly edition now 3 fences remaining. It's a good round here to complete in Vilamoura. Ladies and gentlemen, Josephine Sandgaard Morup gives us a completed first competition at the 2021 Junior European Championships.
67.86.
And a fairly icy-faced Dane is our last image of the live competition. And we can tell you the final time. My clock is still running, so we will give you that in just a moment. First round, weekend in Vilamoura completing.
And these are the first winner, Evelyn Puters from Belgium. Second, Josephine Jacobs from Denmark.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the completion of the first competition here in Vilamoura.
Fourth place, Ireland, Tom
And we
Watchman.
can tell you that Evelyn Puters has
Place,
put Belgium
Great
and her
Britain,
beautiful
and Venom.
Uterot into a powerful position into the week ahead. The team announcement will come just before 5 o'clock tonight. And 61.92, the winning time of this first competition. Our congratulations. 0.2 of a second in second. That brilliant round from the oldest horse of the field, Dakar. The Utrelo Z crossed the Darko. 18-year-old has Josephine Christian Jacobsen second for the Danes. Alice Lane was brilliant. Emerald Sit has got France again up on the individual podium, 62.39. Then comes Tom Vachman. He was dazzling. HH Fireball lives up to his name. And 62.62 for Tom is fourth position. The best for Great Britain at this early stage. Ava Vernon has Jolie Fleur van der Nooit Hervel up in fifth position, 62.7. Belgium have had a dream start. Their team announcement is going to be an absolute heyday for their chef to keep. Who can he pick? Because Tristan Guisson is sixth and Nathalie van het Legitterhof Z is another great one for Belgium. And for the last ninth, Guisson in seventh. Max Bachmann in seventh. In that share of seventh, who's for Ireland. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a superb opening roll of the dice here in Vilamoura. And we leave you with the scenes as the course will be installments. It's the young riders that are starting. That is going to be at 2 o'clock here. Central European time, 3 o'clock. We've got a break of 1 hour and 23 minutes. And we'll be back to bring you the young riders first round from myself, Ed Holloway, the team here in Vilamoura. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in just under 1.5 hours.